Good evening. I get the pleasure once a year to call the meeting to order, so I'm doing that. The first order of business is to seat the new Concord School Committee since the town meeting concluded last week and to make other necessary appointments. After the call to order of the committee is made, I will request that a Concord School Committee member move the motion. And actually, I think tonight I'm gonna throw that to Andrew to talk on sort of timing and where we are for the rest of you to discuss.
Great.
So we're gonna jump to letter A, which is the seating, and then you all take over. So a motion needs to be made by a Concord School Committee member to recognize Andrew Herchek, Drew Magliozzi, Tracy Morano, Sandeep Pisharati, Michael Williams as members of the Concord School Committee.
So moved.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Great, so the Concord School Committee has been seated. I'm gonna turn it over to you.
Yeah, so this is awkward every year when the Concord town meeting and the Carlisle town meeting are far apart. So right now, the Carlisle town meeting hasn't occurred, so technically, we don't know if you both will be returning. So we have the option tonight of going ahead and electing chairs for the CPS. I think historically, and you might know better than me, we generally wait and seat and select chairs at once Carlisle has been seated, which we can do tonight, or we can not do that and go ahead and elect new chairs, which as outgoing chair, I'm happy with that option too. So I just wanted to put that out there. Last year it wasn't as a big deal because the Concord town meeting was much closer to Carlisle town meeting.
Yeah.
That's not the case this year, so I don't know if you have any
Yep,
historical.
so historically, the last time that this happened was 2024. And I made a motion to delay the election of chairs until we seat the region and we do both. So that's what happened in 2024. In my 5 years on the committee, it's been different every year. Sometimes the town meetings coincide and they're the same day. Some, like, I think during COVID, we had like the same day town meeting,
It's the
so it's a little bit
elections.
easier. And the elections are also in there. So, and I don't know if anyone looked back further than 2020, but this is typically how we've done it.
So there's a policy that was enacted in September of 2024
Mhm.
that I thought spells things out, policy BDA.
So BDA, so no one that is on this committee currently was on the policy subcommittee to review those. So I went back to the meeting minutes from 2024 and we were supposed to look at it in 2025 and it didn't get reviewed. So the committee over the summer, I don't know if they reviewed that because it was said that we were gonna change it in our policy. I consulted with MASC and it is allowable to delay it with a vote of the committee. So it's really up to the committee to decide.
Andrew, do you have any reservations about continuing to?
Delaying is fine by me. It's basically the next CCRSD meeting anyway, so.
One meeting.
So I guess just to make this easier, I am gonna make a motion to delay the election of chair and vice chair to the next regional school committee, which is on June 3rd.
Oh, a month from now.
Yep.
Okay. Is there a reason not to do it right now, or?
No, there's no reason not to right now, but I made a motion, so it either has to be seconded or not, and then we can discuss it.
I'll second it.
Okay, so now we can discuss it. Sorry, it's really awkward when
Yeah.
there's not really a chair, there's kind of a chair, but not really a chair.
Got it.
Yeah, so I guess being on the committee, when you have a chair and a vice chair and a chair and a vice chair, to know who's coming over from Carlisle, to really have the full picture, that's why I would like to delay it until Carlisle is seated. Because we don't currently know if Brian and Lynette are gonna be with us,
I guess,
and who our options for chair would be for the region. I guess that's where I'm at.
if somebody, we elect somebody as chair for the Concord committee, they would not be able to do
They would not
I see,
be able to chair
I
the
see.
region.
so. I guess I'm curious about if this this was approved, I guess, in September of 2024. Not used in 2025, but would pertain now. It's curious, what prompted, all of you were seated then, what prompted the thoughts in 2024 to approve this policy then?
So Alicia recommended that we put it into our policy review and it just got missed. It didn't get put into the policy review. That's my understanding from the minutes.
But it did get approved
policy
in
was reviewed,
September
yes.
20 so it got approved in September 24, and
Can I just, sorry,
I'm
continue.
trying to figure what caused it to be approved then, but it doesn't apply now.
Oh, I think the policy definitely applies now, so that's the reason that you need a motion to delay it. So we had this exact same policy when it happened in 2024. And when we consulted with MASC on that, they said you can delay it if you want to, if the committee wants, because this is a vote of the committee. It doesn't matter. To me, it doesn't matter either way. It's whatever the committee decides is best for the committee. So in 2024, it was exactly the same thing. We had that policy and Alicia recommended that we update it. I don't know what happened in the summer work on the policy work. Yes, I was on the committee. Were you on the committee? You were on the committee?
No,
We
I mean,
really
I was
must have
there,
missed
it just didn't track to the policy subcommittee that went through the changes, so we just missed whatever edit needed to be made.
And it was, shout out to the policy subcommittee, because it was a full review of the entire binder of policies.
We can certainly put it
So,
on the list now.
Yeah. Totally.
Out of curiosity, when we do elect the chairs, is there an order of operations? Does CPS go first? And then the district, if you do it in the same meeting, whether it's
I would ask that the audience maybe not comment on that. Yes, CPS gets first.
Okay,
Yep.
got it.
But we would know who our
You would
Carlisle
know who
members
the
are.
Carlisle
But yes,
representative
so Concord will still get elected first.
I see.
Cause when it goes on the agenda like that, we put both of them on.
Okay, yeah, I'm curious. I'm obviously new to this, so.
Totally. Who
I
asked if we're ready for?
I understand, yeah.
I
Cause we have a
can.
motion, we have a motion
I guess
and
I
a
got the
second.
motion, yeah, well, the motion is what? Just so we're all.
Is to delay, so
is
I
to
made a
delay.
motion to delay the election of chairs until the June 3rd meeting.
And it was seconded,
And it was seconded.
alright, you've had your discussion, or are you
You
having
can
it
ask
now?
if there's any further
Any other discussion? Alright, all in favor of delaying the seating of the Concord chair?
Aye.
Seating or election?
The election of the chair.
the delay of the election of the
Thank you for being
Concord
very specific,
Yes.
yes, that matters.
Aye.
The election of the chair and the vice chair.
Aye.
Do y'all mind if I abstain? I don't know enough
Totally
to
fine.
wager a
sure.
vote on this. Yeah.
So 3 ayes, Drew abstains.
I'll abstain too.
Okay. That might be the hardest thing you do.
That was
all
the
night.
hardest thing we do all night. It's
We
very
should get to
confusing.
Yeah.
the policy, cause this is awkward.
It's
already.
totally awkward every single time.
It's awkward for me to sit.
So again, I know this is still Concord, but Carlisle has a much better process of doing this, right?
Well,
It-
I
it's
don't know if it's a
different.
better,
It's
it's
different.
completely
He's
different.
codifying it.
They appoint people. It's not,
So
yeah.
the challenge on the Carlisle side is we have to make sure we seat ourselves so in Carlisle, the night of the election, once the results are in, you are in office the next day. There's none of it, and town meetings already happened beforehand. So what's gonna happen, June 2nd is our election, Lynette and I are running. And we are running unopposed, but I'm never gonna assume anything. Assuming that, we are elected on June 3rd, because we have a meeting that night, she and I have to go get sworn in. We're gonna have a 1 o'clock Carlisle meeting to seat everybody and figure out who's coming to the region. And then we'll come, whoever that is will come to the region that night. So I think the issue is just that we're a month apart this time. I feel like our election is later than it normally is.
Yes.
And our town meeting was early,
So-
earlier than
Right,
last year.
and so like next year, our town meeting, I think, is on May 18th. So it may be a non-issue next year depending on when the Carlisle election and the Carlisle town
Yeah.
meeting is.
So
Because the Concord election is always in March.
Yes.
we just like to keep you in suspense.
And so I guess that I would move that Andrew Hercheck continue to be chair of the Concord Public School Committee until June 3rd.
Do we even need?
Do we have to do that?
I don't know, do we have to do it?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
No, we just
So he just remains
put
chair.
it delayed.
Okay, so
Yeah,
we're good.
votes delayed.
So thanks for that.
Okay, thanks. I'm just- So now you can do so now that you are the chair, you can do the next nomination.
Okay, I don't have the verbiage.
It's right here.
Alright,
Secretary.
Appointment.
signatures. So next we will appoint of the school committee recording secretary.
So I move to appoint Erin Higgins as recording secretary.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And thanks Erin, that's all she does. Behind the scenes.
It's complicated. Okay. So the Concord committee's been seated and now we're on to recognitions. So this is the best part of our meeting. And we're gonna start with our state athletic champions. And tonight we have with us, we have the girls swim and dive team, who are state champs for the second year in a row. Third year in a row, come on up. I think we have Sarah and Maina and Rosie, so why don't we have you guys come up first and we'll do them all separate. Is that okay?
Whatever you want.
Okay. Do I see, let's see, we have the three of you. Do we have Theo with us? Is Theo with us? Okay, Theo Remington, I'm just gonna, is he
Oh,
on it?
great.
Oh, he's on his way, so we're gonna do it when he's here. Do we have our fencing state champ? Oh, perfect, let's do them separate. All right, girls. So the swim, can you tell us a little bit about your season this year?
Yeah, it was a really exciting year, obviously coming back. We had a little bit of experience knowing what it's like to come back defending the state title, but even to do that again, it gets even harder. And this year, we really faced that. The state championship was our hardest meet this year. They did a realignment, and so we competed against Amherst, who really made us fight. We weren't winning halfway through the meet, and it came down to like the final two races. And getting those diving points in. Shout out to our divers who really won the meet for us. They got so many points. And I think it just made this year a lot more special knowing we fought that much harder for it.
Anyone else?
I think we also had a lot of people swimming new events this year or events they had qualified last year, so it was definitely a lot of growth from the team from a lot of different individuals. And we had a lot of freshmen competing at the state meet as well, and the divers really helped us a lot there too. Yeah.
Excellent. Rosie?
I mean, I feel like overall this year we had a lot of growth. I could definitely see that. Our freshman class was very big this year, so they definitely helped us out a ton. And yeah, like Maina said, I mean, our divers really were like our final way to win at the very end of state. So
Well, congratulations again, and I think that, did the police escort you into town again this year? It's always like the best part when you see like the sirens come through Concord Center. So congratulations again. And I think we'll take a picture with everybody in the school committee.
I was
Can we
gonna do it,
Would you
I don't know, I'll
separate?
take a bunch
Let's
of
do it
photos,
separate?
we'll keep going. I got them,
Good,
do
you
you
got
wanna
them?
then bring the others and we'll,
Yes.
you're in charge.
Yes, I'll bring the others. So let's bring up fencing. So if you guys can sit at the table here, we'll bring up fencing over here. And I'm really excited to hear about fencing because I don't think we've had the fencers yet.
I don't
What
think.
are your weapons?
So I'm the epee team captain as well as the cumulative men's team captain.
Okay.
And I'm the saber team captain.
I was foil.
Oh, nice.
Okay, I'm glad we have a fencer among us because I don't understand that world.
Different areas touch, different, foil and epee are simply pointing weapons. Saber is a slashing weapon.
Okay, so can you tell us a little bit about the fencing team and what brought you to the state championship?
Yeah, so I became captain so this is my second year as captain. Remember a lot of the mistakes that I made in the first year, just perhaps at states and just in leadership in general, gave me a lot of ideas about what I could do with my second year. It allowed us to train better. I think it allowed us to have much better morale. And I think that it made it so that we could really steal the win from these schools, and many of these schools recruit for fencing. Concord Carlisle High School isn't one of those. So it was very impressive what we were able to do this year. And also, it was in no small part due to our Sabre team, which really carried its weight and got us to the win. I'll let Leo talk about that.
Yeah, I think that the real story of the fencing team this year is growth. You know, I think almost everyone on our team, they only first started fencing when they joined the team in high school, which is very unusual for fencers. Normally they start very, very young. But this year, you know, like James, it's my second year being captain. So I've been able to watch the underclassmen kind of grow over these last 2 years. And, you know, it makes me very proud to be able to see them win a state championship.
And is it a men's and women's team combined, or do you compete separate?
At states, the men go against the men, and the women go against the women. So no, they're not really the same team.
Is it a combined score between the two teams, or
No, it is not.
Okay.
We compete separately, but because it's a fairly small team, we train together. So it's it's kind of like a larger team, but we compete separately.
That's great. Anyone on the committee have any questions or comments for our fencers?
How's the pipeline looking for?
Sorry, could you say that again?
How's the how are underclassmen and I guess the future of the team looking?
Well, I'd say it's looking pretty bright. So I bring a lot of my my leadership experience from also teaching at the same facility, like privately. So I teach kids from about 7 to 14, and a lot of those kids that I've been teaching since I was in 8th or 9th grade also came into the fencing team already having some fencing expertise as well. So we're set up with a whole group of kids who have been taught by me and also by Leo, and who've also are experienced in how the competition works. So I wouldn't be surprised if the next year or in a couple years you'll see somebody, one of my students or Leo's students, up here giving the same talk.
Wow.
And I would say very similar to the swim and dive team, like we have this amazing facility at BD, and I know that some of you are part of swim clubs in Concord, so you've been swimming your entire life. And we've got a fencing facility in town too, so really fortunate that we have those things. Good. Well, congratulations to both teams. I don't see Theo yet, right? Theo's not here yet.
No,
When he comes, we will recognize him when he comes. We'll recognize him separately.
Yeah.
He said 6:27 ETA.
Okay.
6:27, well, we're
I-
Seven
close.
minutes.
I just
You'll be
think it's really cool in these winter sports that they're team sports, but you compete individually. So to hear you talk about leadership and training and cheering on, you know, for different events is really, really cool when it all comes together. So really, really good job. And I really appreciate the Blazers, by the way.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So, so with that, maybe can you guys wait around for maybe like 10 more minutes till Theo gets here? And we'll continue on with our high school update, and then we'll bring you guys back in and do a picture with everyone with Theo's here. Does that sound good? Okay.
Theo was here last year too, right?
He was here
So we
last
could
year
also-
too.
Theo's a recurring.
He's a
champion.
recurring state champ, but again, another individual sport, so all you guys have individual sports. I know swim, you have relays too, that, you know, it's much more team, but really individual competitors, so congratulations to all of you. If you can just wait for maybe 10 minutes for Theo, and then we'll do a picture with everybody.
You don't
Okay.
right there.
I don't mind it.
Thank you so much, congratulations.
So he meets his online green team, I think.
Wherever you want.
Oh, okay.
No, I have to ask.
Okay. All right, our other recognition tonight is the CCHS Green Team, and our faculty advisor Rebecca Meeks, I think, is with us. And so we're gonna turn it to Zoom for a minute.
Hi, yes, and I think
Rebecca?
Priscilla Guiney
Priscilla's
and
here
a
too,
couple of our
sorry.
students should
Priscilla
also.
Guiney is also with us.
Becky, are there other people I need to promote?
Yeah, so Priscilla Guiney.
Oh, it's not on the screen.
Oh, no.
Hang on.
There she is.
Up, Clara's
Priscilla,
raising her hand,
um,
thank you.
And it's
The screens
with
are
the two students. Henry Yates, is he on? Oh yeah, there's Clara Frank.
neither
Okay.
screen is on.
Understood.
Hi. Hi Clara. And then is
Oh, here they come.
Henry there as well?
Who are you looking for?
Henry Yates?
I don't see Henry. Oh, yeah, I don't see Henry, unless he's here
Okay.
under another name.
Okay, well, we can start here. I'm gonna share my screen and Clara's gonna talk a little bit about what we do in our group.
Great.
Yeah. She says confidently.
Let us know if you have any trouble screen sharing.
Shouldn't, I think. Just need to close them and things. Okay, let's see.
Is it letting you share?
I think it is. My computer's not. Sorry. Let me try one more click
No
here.
worries.
I'm sorry to hold you all up.
Or you can share it with me and I'll share it, Becky.
Okay, let me try one more time. Share Chrome. Share. Yeah, it's not letting me share. Here, let me share. I'll just share the presentation with you.
While we're waiting and having technical difficulty, I did see our head swim coach Matt Goldberg join us. So when we bring the team up, you can come up with them for a picture at the end.
Okay, Laura, you should have it now.
Okay. Yes. Unfortunately, I can't go into presentation mode for some sort of technical reason, but I've got it.
All right. Okay, so hi everybody. My name is Clara and I'm a part of the Green Team Club at CCHS. We promote sustainability here at CC and around the community all 4 seasons of the year. One of our initiatives is to plant native pollinator plants in gardens around the community to help at-risk insects, including golden bees and monarch butterflies. We have planted these gardens at CMS, Alcott, the Gleason Public Library, and we have even taught Alcott 1st and 3rd graders how native plants help our ecosystem, and we help them plant their own. Yeah, and then we can go to the next slide.
Next slide.
Yeah. So going green at CC. We also have been encouraging composting at many school events and in the cafeteria daily. We have volunteered at Cakes for Cancer, the Thanksgiving Luncheon, the Multicultural Festival, and more in the future. And those are just a few images of us at each of those events. And then this is about helping CC transportation go green. We have researched and filled out the application for 3 public access charging stations that would go right in front of the gym for electric cars. We also host a bike and walk to school day that's going to be on Friday, May 8th. And we're even including Boston students where they will walk from Emerson Playground up to the school. And that's a really fun event where there will be prizes and just encourages people to lower their carbon emissions. And then these are just a few of the other events that we do. Every November, we annually host the Great Pumpkin Smash at Codman Farm. This is when everybody brings pumpkins and then they feed them to the cows and pigs to compost. And it's just beneficial for everybody. We also celebrated Earth Day this year on May 1st, and we had a fun Friday in the cafeteria where there was cornhole about our carbon emissions in and out. And we also had rocks that people could paint and people could make their pledges to go green. Yeah. And we just wanted to thank everybody in the school committee for inviting us to present today. We just wanted to encourage everybody to be sustainable. And the final thing is in March, a few Green Team students attended the preview of the PBS documentary on Thoreau at CC. And they shared their impressions with the film directors, which was really cool. Oh.
Thank you, Clara.
Thank you.
You guys have done great work at the high school. I know that you've been really active in composting. And even all the high school events, it's made a really big difference, like the multicultural food fair, using all the compostable products. I think that that's definitely, and all parents know that if they host anything, that it must be compostable. So I think you've done a really good job, spreading your message.
Thank you. Yeah.
I have to
Thank
say,
you so much. And Clara, as a freshman, we have a lot of students, freshmen through senior year, but unfortunately they were all really busy. So we're so pleased Clara could help us tonight.
Agreed.
I was just a comment, the pollinator garden caught my eye because we've talked about it at Carlisle Public, so I would definitely be interested in speaking with the green team further about that.
Oh, that'd be great.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
I just want to thank you because your work over in the elementary schools is really growing and it's so fun to see the cross-school connections and all of you mentoring the younger kids. So keep that up. I think that's been a really big step forward this year, that there's some real momentum building.
Yeah.
And to give some credit to the elementary school teachers at Alcott, I think the students were just as educated as I am in Going Green, which is really fun to see when we went to plant with them. So, yeah.
That's great.
It's really cute.
Well, thank you so much for all that you do at the high school and all the other schools, and I think a partnership with Carlisle is probably in your future. So keep up the good work. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so Theo, come into the room. We're gonna switch back to our state champions. So Theo, come on up. Nothing like coming in hot.
Sorry about that. I wrote down the wrong time in my phone. I had old information, I think.
No
It's totally
problem.
fine.
No problem at all.
So now we welcome state champion Theo Remington, who is, what are you the state champion of? Can you, I know it's skiing related.
Yeah, it's slalom. There's two main events, giant slalom and slalom. And I won the slalom both this year and last year.
Good for you. Former neighbor.
Former neighbor.
Former neighbor. Do you want to talk a little bit about what this means to the team or what it means to you?
Yeah, it's obviously a huge accomplishment for myself. It's always something I kind of strove for when I was much younger. For the team, it was great. We've won. We were runner-ups the past 2 years. I think I tried to contribute. All the guys have done a really good job. There's been a lot of improvement over the years. The team's really grown over the 4 years since I've been there, and it's been a great environment this year as well.
That's great. And are you planning on skiing in your future?
I'm going to Middlebury College. I'm unfortunately not going to have the opportunity to ski competitively there, but I'll definitely be doing a lot of skiing.
There's a lot of skiing in
Yeah.
Vermont, so I think you'll still be skiing on some level, right?
Vermont, there's a lot of skiing locally and a bunch of really nice mountains within an hour or so I'll definitely continue skiing recreationally.
I think you get like a ski pass. I think Middlebury gives you ski
Yeah,
pass.
they have discounted passes for college students.
It's always great. It's a great discount.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations again, 2 years in a row. We have
Thank you so much.
the fencers that this is your first state championship, and the girls swim and dive team, it's your third year in a row. So we're gonna ask you all to come up. We need a picture with all of us. We haven't done a picture of the entire school committee with our state champs for a while, have we?
No.
So we'll bring
Not
you
this
all up
year.
over here, and I'll ask the school committee to come behind. Bob's on picture duty. Sorry, Bob. First.
It is their first.
Oh, they need a banner. That's right.
Oh, lacrosse. Oh, cool. Wow.
All busy seniors, so congratulations. How if we put the champions in front of the school committee?
Yeah.
And Coach Goldberg is also gonna
West
join us.
Point or Penn State.
So swim team, come on over here. Swim team.
Fantastic.
All right, there we go, swim team. We've got Coach Goldberg with us.
I think we're going this way now.
There we are. There, do we have
We
us?
all in?
Are we in? Here, we'll look at Bob first.
We all fit. Vertical one for TikTok.
Squeeze in a little bit more on the left.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. Let me take one more. Got it.
Great. All right.
All right.
Thank you all for
Yes,
coming.
thank you so much for coming.
You know how busy you are.
Good to see you.
Thank you.
Sharp.
Funny to see you guys.
Yes, you did.
Thank you for
I didn't know
coming.
you were fencing.
I was. I am.
You should have told me.
Congratulations.
How would you know you were
Yes.
Thanks for coming.
Alright, so we'll move on to Maddie's online.
I think you're next though, Lori.
Oh, okay.
The reports are next.
Alright, I will. Thank you, sir.
That was Mark. Mark, you still have time, right? You still have time?
Alright, well, thank you. I only have a few highlights tonight of some of the ongoing activities at the high school. I know the students are gonna follow me. Usually they're ahead of me, so I can ride their
Well, this is what,
coattails, but
yes,
it'll
this
work.
is what Mark said, and it seems to be a little different every meeting. I think we missed it with our lengthy agenda, so I
Yeah,
apologize.
So I'm purposely not highlighting what I expect they're going to. We are very busy with our accreditation work. So this week, the high school just yesterday saw drafts of the standards they need to report on. So that's been all worked through, drafted by a number of staff who then have to share it with the rest of the staff. And I would love to give you those drafts so you can see the comprehensiveness of it. It covers every pillar of what a high functioning school needs to have in place. And they had to reflect, identify areas of strength, areas of growth, and start to put themselves out in front of the accreditation teams. What I know I mentioned this one other time, just as a reminder, this happens over a 2-year process. So in October, there will be a first visiting team to come in, and they're now calling it, Brian's online, he's gonna tell me, I don't remember totally, a collaborative process where they come and do a first site visit after reviewing the standards to talk through what we named and what we saw and do some work on their own to give us feedback on things they might see. And then they come back 2 years later to actually do the full accreditation report. So it's become a much more cyclical process, meant to be like, let's name what we wanna work on and collaborate with the association for a growth process. So I'm excited by that. I've not been participated in an accreditation since these changes have happened. On top of that is the vision of a graduate work, which also has to be complete. So I know next week there's a day-long design team meeting where we're still honing things in. We knew that process was gonna go into the next school year, and that's given us this gift of time where we got all the feedback and the design team will make their way through where that is at the moment, and then there'll be some next steps coming for the fall of next year. So kudos to the high school. This is a lot of work, and we're right on track, and you can tell the meaningfulness of it just in the conversations and documents that are being produced. We last night hosted, in collaboration with the Concord Police Department, a substance program. We first brought in a speaker for the juniors and seniors. I was there for a good amount of it. Very engaging firsthand story of someone who got addicted young. He did such a great job of saying, even if you're not in that trajectory, single use can be devastating too. So students were very engaged. It was a pretty powerful hour. And then he stayed and did a parent session last night, and the police were there to talk about social hosts. You saw the letter the chief and I wrote together, naming, we think we have a problem here. The parental piece is really important to us to talk about the seriousness of the either hosting or permission to drink. And of course, we're trying to reach the students to help them navigate. I thought he did a great job. Like, you need a toolkit of what you're gonna do when situations arise, not just us looking at them saying, don't drink. So I think it was a good start to that conversation. We are very grateful that town approved half of the cost of this was paid for through the town opioid money, which I think just means everybody's getting in the same boat here to message how worried we are and how serious we think this is. And then finally, just a really big shout out. We had 60 plus students and a good number of chaperones in Nanai over the break and right till we returned last week. Really successful trip. All the pictures and videos, it's really fun to see. They not only sight saw, but they were immersed in the Nanai schools, as is the gift of our partnership and exchanges. And if you got to see any of the photos or the recordings of the concerts where the Japanese and Concord students are Concord Carlisle students are all together, it's pretty special. So We're excited that that just happened and looking forward to the next steps. There's a Nanai visit coming in October as usual, so I think we just kept that momentum going. I feel like it's been a road since COVID to get back on track, so this is our first time having students in Nanai since, and boy, it went really well. That's a big trip, by the way, as those of you who approve it. We had a little thing with the earthquake that happened offshore a ways, but we just talked our way through that and it was fine. But really successful trip.
That's great.
Yeah.
So very quick question about the substance program you mentioned.
Yeah.
I from what you said, it doesn't sound like it's a one-off thing.
Yeah.
What's the kind of plan to?
Yeah, I think we wanted to definitely hit prom graduation season, so that was the timing right now. We've met a good amount with the health teachers, cause they're the ones who really carry the bigger lift in the more formal environment. I think our goal now, as we get feedback from yesterday, is the level of impact it had and what was successful, what could we tweak. We hear a lot from students that the playbook model where kids are in smaller groups is actually a little more valuable unless you get the right speaker. So we're trying to bounce back and forth between formats and messaging. So we're gonna keep having that discussion. I think we have to keep this front and center. It feels really important.
Community outreach.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, that was part of last night, was really trying to bring the community into the room. You know, it's hard in person. There are about 25, 30 people there. But from what I hear, it was a really robust dialogue with those folks, and we're hoping they become ambassadors out to the rest. And then we keep strategizing how to bring more people into the conversation.
Thank you. I don't see Aisha online. Michelle can't come. I'm just gonna give a brief update of, we had our coffee at Metco, not at Metco, but in Boston at South Bay at Panera. It was great. Aisha, Michelle and I were there, and we had two parents join us. We just had some really great conversations, so you know, the coffees I always find interesting because there's a lot of like parent to parent. It's not really, you know, school committee, it's definitely more parent to parent information, but it was really great, and I think it was great for us to be in the city. I had talked to someone about, you know, does the school committee go into Boston? I'm like, if we go for a meeting, you know, there's the back to school meeting, there's our school committee meeting, and then there are meetings throughout the year that happen in Boston, so the coffee was definitely well worth it.
That concludes the coffees, right?
Well, we're gonna hear about the Carlisle coffee later, because
Right.
theirs was today.
Right.
So, and that will conclude the coffees for this year.
Are there any specific topics that you went over in the Metco coffee? Transparent?
No, we talked about, you know, types of food and places we like to go, whether it's in Concord or in Boston, and which piece of place is everybody's favorite. There was a lot of that, but there weren't really any specific topics that came up. It was just more of a discussion. So, and I can, when Michelle and Aisha come, if they have any other comments, they can certainly pass those along. Just for the chairs updated, just a few things, and I'll try and be really brief. Just our town meeting update. I know that we were all there and all of our school articles passed, which I was really proud of. So just really many thanks to Lori and Bob and the administrators for all the work that goes into the budgeting process, because we realize and value what you do. And I also would say the collaboration between the school committee, the select board, and the FinCom was definitely apparent this year, and it made the process go really smoothly. So I think what we did this year, like we're getting better every year, right? And I think that we should continue on the same cadence of meetings and things like that leading up to town meeting. So that first meeting will probably be in August. Technology.
Can I say
Yep,
one
go
thing?
ahead.
I sat next to Bob during town meeting, and he was basically following every word that Lori was saying up on the podium. So I just think an incredible amount of dedication from both of you, and you know, both of you got in your cars and started driving home, then you drove back to Concord later that night to deal with the fire. So incredibly long day, incredibly well done. I think it was a really good delivery, good process, good end result with the budget, and I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
And the one other thing about town meetings, the amenities building is moving forward, so the town approved the CPC funding. So now we're going to Carlisle, town meeting on May 18th.
Yes.
And then that will be another building project that will start as soon as the bids go out, correct? Yes, so, technology, we are very aware that parents have some concerns regarding technology use in our schools. And I wanna say that we hear that as a committee. We wanna start by asking the superintendent and assistant superintendent for a comprehensive presentation on technology in the district, much like we would like a math presentation, a reading presentation. Now's the time for technology. So I think a first step with that would be to do that in the fall. So I just wanna make sure that the community hears that we are listening and we hear the comments, we hear the feedback, and we're looking forward to this work.
Tracy, on that one.
Yep.
Are we gonna get an opportunity to discuss what we'd like these guys to present to us come fall? Because I think what the frame is might be helpful, so they pull together the type of presentation that would be most informative.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And what we've done in the past, like when we've asked for reports, we've asked like the school committee to give your feedback to the administration on what things you're
We want
looking
that.
for. So I think like individually be thinking about that, and I think we can compile that and pass that along to you. I think that'd be helpful.
Would we send that feedback to you too?
I would send it just to Lori, actually.
Sure, you
Or-
can send that to me.
Okay.
I would send that just to Lori
Or
directly.
Yeah.
Can we also have outreach from our community, because I know we heard quite a bit when we had our coffee, and we had quite amount of public comment 2 weeks ago. Just have community outreach as well to
Yeah, well, and I think
help focus what the conversation is going to be.
Yep, and I think that, we take all public comment, like even from that meeting, like I think we heard all at the meeting and we can kind of put it all together and get what we're all looking for. Does that make sense? Okay.
When do you want that feedback by?
I mean, if you wanna send it before, as school closes, that'll give us the summer to work through, if that's
So
possible.
like a month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think by the time school closes and then you will have it. Because it's like one thing, once they start down the road and someone's like, oh, I forgot to ask you about this.
Yeah.
And that can certainly come up, but I think it would be helpful to have.
And
it
then there's
mentioned.
always things that we realize we need to share with you that you might not ask too, so it's a mix of all of that.
Totally, okay. And then the last update, I'll just do one more, cause then I'll move the next one to the Macy O'Donnell Center. So Lori and I have been asked to participate in the Mass MASC conference in November. So we have a proposal, the theme of the conference is navigating complex times, centering on students. So the Bedford superintendent and school committee chair asked us to participate on a panel. So that is right now, has been submitted, document's been submitted, and hopefully it'll be accepted. And we'll update you on that should we get accepted. And I think that's all I had.
Tracy, I one last thing on the tech thing
Yep.
from me, cause I'm not 100% sure what to ask or to send to Lori. And I wonder if we might be served by a 10-minute discussion at some point before the break, just to get our ducks in a row, because I know we can't do it other than at the
Yeah.
meeting. And I'm not 100% sure what to ask. I know we've heard from the community, but I think we've heard like 5 separate things from the community. And I wonder which strands to pull on, and because I don't wanna overwhelm these guys with too much. And I wonder if we can sort of get our ducks in a row to make it easier for them. Is that possible?
I think that's definitely possible for June. I think, I don't think we all have the same common language around technology. Like, I can tell you, I have no idea what's happening K through 8 or even 9 through 12 in terms of, what they're using for technology, I'm a high school senior, I can kind of see what she's doing. But I think we all need to know what's actually happening, like, we need a baseline and kind of, common vocabulary, whatever programs we're using. That would, like, to me, that's gonna be my ask,
I
right?
appreciate that, that's wonderful.
So maybe we can have like a 5 to 10.
And I'm gonna say from
minute-
this vantage,
yeah.
AI is our biggest discussion right now, and what that, we've started the discussion, but there's so much to figure out that I'm
And
gonna
if
wanna
anyone
layer
tells
that
you-
into.
If anyone tells you they have the answers, they're full.
Fair.
So maybe if we can get the feedback before the June meeting.
Perfect.
And then on the June meeting, we have like a quick 5 to 10 to really make sure you've captured everything, like you've had an opportunity to see it
Yeah,
before the meeting, so maybe like
in
say
that
June
month.
1st.
So
Let's
they
say June
send it to
1st.
you, then you can organize it?
Should we?
Or you can send it right to
Or
Lori.
maybe, or maybe, I mean,
Really, or you
I
or
will do
anybody
it,
else.
I'm gonna throw it in
You can send it to
ChatGPT.
me,
I think we should
tap,
send it
I'll
to
tap
Lori.
Shelley to help, so you can
I think send it directly to Lori. She can organize it, but do it by June 1st, so then by our June 3rd meeting, if you have any questions for
Sure.
us, or if we have any questions, or wanna
Yeah.
try and
Deal.
make sure we're on the right page, we'll go from there. Does that make sense?
That makes perfect sense to me.
Okay.
Thank you for letting me
Okay.
be a squeaky wheel.
All right, so that's all I have for an update, so I would invite Mark up. Thank you for being patient, and I think Maddie's online, and Evelyn is also online.
Is Evelyn?
I
She
thought
said
I
she
saw
had
her. Oh, maybe she left.
time to make it. She has a rehearsal.
Okay. I think she left. She was here and she did leave. All right, so I'll turn it over to Mark and Maddie. And Maddie, is this gonna be your last meeting, or do you think you're gonna come on June 3rd? I know you will have graduated.
I think it'll depend on, it's a busy time.
It's a busy time.
It's her last meeting.
This
It's
is
her
your
last
last
meeting.
meeting.
This
Okay,
is her
let's
last
assume
meeting.
it's totally your last meeting.
When is last meeting?
Well, this is Maddie's last meeting.
Yeah.
Will you be joining us for June?
June what?
June 3rd?
Third.
I'm sure.
Okay, so Mark's joining us on June 3rd. I have a little something for you and Evelyn, but I'll drop it at your house.
Okay, let me get started. Do you have the slideshow? Do you think?
Oops, sorry.
For some reason, my laptop doesn't work here.
It's the common theme. It just doesn't work here.
Can we add that as part of the technology discussion?
Yes, definitely. How do we get it into presentation mode on Zoom?
Mark, who sent it to me, do you know?
And we always have the same running one.
Yeah.
So I know you get a lot.
Yeah, alright.
So do you keep your presentation like throughout the year?
Yeah,
The whole thing?
slides, yeah.
That's
Do
great,
slides. Sorry.
actually.
They're all like in one row, the date on top.
Yeah.
There we go. Let me just see. Yep. Perfect, cause I don't need a new link, it still works. Ta-da. They're too small, we still haven't figured out why we can't go into slideshow on the screens, so
I'm like
I
trying to make
will
it bigger on my screen.
just zoom in and
Slides.
Mark, do you wanna look at my screen so you can see it all? Or is that work, is that enough?
It was.
I have it.
That's kind of the best I'm getting.
Yeah, I can do it.
No, that's too big. Perfect. Alright.
Oh, I can see it.
Okay, so Maya Filoni and I just got elected by the entire school as for the State Student Advisory Council, which is kind of, I was on it last year, which is like the Greater Boston region, yeah. I'm super excited, so I invited you all
Yes.
to the bullying and harassment work group that was in, we had that discussion, that was great. I'm not sure what I'll do next year, I might do as far as work groups, we have like a nutrition one, and it's kind of like looking at data at different schools and different districts and seeing what they're doing on like those different topics. We spent most of our time looking at like the bias incident form, which like a lot of the districts had, but weren't sure what to make of it. So I think we were doing the best job, and we gave a lot of helpful feedback. So I'm super excited to do that with Maya Filoni, who's a sophomore. The Muslim Student Union or Association, I think it is. There's a photo right above that pink one. They just started their club. I don't know if you want to talk about that, Maddie, because you're on Senate. I guess that's it. Prove it.
Oh, yeah. They came to present to us, I think maybe a few months ago, and we were just really excited. I think it's something that or it's a group of students that aren't really represented in our school in all of the affinity groups we have so far. So we were really excited to see them come present, and I've heard that their meetings have been going really well so far.
Yeah, it's super recent because I remember we've been having affinity group meetings with all club affinity groups in the high school. So they weren't even like an official club when they were at the first meeting, so they must have just got approved recently. Yeah, the presentation from the speaker, I was there. I don't know if Maddie was there, she might have been gone, but It was juniors and seniors. I think it was really, a lot of people were saying that it was like very like front and center. But I think that is also like dependent on the person who needs to hear the message. So some people respond well to that, and some people don't. But I mean, I enjoyed the message. It was definitely engaging. I think everybody was listening. There was not anyone that wasn't listening, but it was how the message was perceived. I would also say, like, I don't know if you guys do this, but like after we have assemblies, maybe like having a Google form sent out, like if people have strong.
Great
opinions.
idea.
Yeah.
I'll get that done by the end of the week, Mark.
Okay, that sounds good. Just cause like I do hear like some people a lot of people really did feel like it was front and center and they got the message, and I think that's the most important part of when you have an assembly is that people were listening.
Yeah.
But it's just like who the speaker is and how it resonates
No,
with
that's a
students.
really good idea.
What questions would you recommend asking out of curiosity?
See, there was a Q&A after, but I mean like people were rushing to class, so I don't know that like people that really, really had like strong opinions probably went down and asked. Questions I would ask, I don't know, I responded well to the message, but I think other people might have felt some type of way with how he phrased certain things. But he was a great speaker.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Do you wanna talk about Unified Track? Maddie?
Yeah. Unified Track, they had a meet at Emerson on Monday against Westford Academy. It seemed really fun. I have a few friends who do it and they love it. And there's some photos, if you can see them on the right side of our slide, that I think Jonkus got and posted on the Instagram.
It was finally a beautiful day for a meet. They've had really cold weather.
Okay,
Yeah.
so class government had their first spike ball tournament. I co-led that with Beulah. You can see middle bottom photo. Those are our two winners. That's Charlie Durgazarian and Sawyer Bauer are winners. They received their little gift cards. But yeah, that was a really fun event. It was tricky to pull off, but we ended up having like 11 teams and like a bunch of people playing. But it was super fun. I remember I had moved it inside like at the end of the day because I thought it was gonna rain and it was like cloudy. And then as soon as the bell rings, the clouds open up, like the sun is out, and like I had them like go over the intercom and they're like, it's back outside. And then we had to move everything.
Good for you.
Yeah, it was great.
And I believe it was last week for National Honor Society, we inducted the class of 2027 members. So we had this night on Tuesday in the auditorium, and all of the NHS leaders for my class, which is me, Sierra Fonte, Evan Wang, Elise McMorrow, Celeste Pinto, and Brooke Hosford, we all went and we would speak about the NHS pillars, and we announced all the names of the new inductees. It's a really special night. Everyone gets a paper with their name on it and the NHS logo and everything, and they get to hear from Miss Slocum and also the principals. And then we elected a faculty member to speak, and it was Miss Brooks, and it was special because she's retiring this year too, so it was a really great night. And then another thing that we had last week was the WIQH event on National Radio Day. I think it was on Wednesday, and they set up their radio setup in the Learning Commons outside the library, and they were broadcasting throughout the day, and different people in the club would go, or different people in WIQH would go, and they could play some music or talk on the radio, so that seemed really cool. And then another event last week was South Asian Student Union had a holy event at Alcott. It was outside. I saw all the paint. It seemed really colorful and fun, and that seemed like a great event as well. Currently, it's Teacher and Staff Appreciation Week at CCHS. There's so many cool events that the Parents Association is putting on, like their retreats. I think there's some artisan coffee happening at some point. A lot of cool things. That seems really great.
Yeah.
And Mark, I don't know if you want to talk about. Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about. I'm not doing a spring sport. I don't think Maddie is either. But I've been trying to go to all my friends' games. I remember I went to a game in Longmeadow, which I'd never heard that time. Yeah.
That's far.
So yeah, I was like, why not? So I went with.
How do you have time for it?
I mean, it was on a Saturday. So
okay.
Yeah. It was great. They won, of course. Girls lacrosse.
Girls lacrosse.
Always. Yeah.
Former state champ, maybe this year.
Undefeated.
Undefeated this year. It's a plug for them.
As far as AP exams, I just had my first one. I was a little bit nervous for it. It ended up being really chill. I don't know what I was worried about, but yeah, I just had my first one. I took AP Micro and then I self-studied for that one. I'm excited for a lot of the APs coming to school. That way you don't have to like self-study for them.
Yeah.
And the procrastination that comes with that because I studied like 2 days before. But yeah, do you want to talk about your AP exams coming up?
Yeah, I had AP Physics today in the afternoon. I was super nervous. I had studied a ton, and it was actually fine. I think a lot of the students thought that we were all really well prepared, and it didn't seem as bad as it could have been. So that was really nice. I think there's been a lot of science in the past couple of days. There's chem, bio, physics. I've heard about Latin, and then there's gonna be more math and some humanities next week. So it's a really busy, kind of stressful 2 weeks. But after that, I feel like it's kind of smooth sailing, especially for the seniors. Although everyone else, juniors, have the finals.
Can I ask a dumb question? Do you get results right away?
No, so that I'm gonna say the nerve-wracking part is I think it's July.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
I have the
wow.
entire summer. I mean, then I don't know my score and then I probably will forget about it over the summer, but yeah, I'll find out in the middle of
And
summer.
SATs, they're not instant either.
No, it's like
It's
it's
2
like
weeks, which is
3 or 4
weird because
weeks.
it's all digitized and it's all multiple choice, so
Yeah.
I think like, but you know.
There's no more essay on the SAT, right?
No, it's all
more
multiple
essays, so it's
choice.
all digital.
Yeah.
But it takes like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Maybe 4.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
sorry.
remember I was doing an application, I was like waiting for it to come in because they wanted to see my SAT score. Yeah, I have 2 more exams coming up, so.
Good luck.
Yeah, thank you. We have a new club, Pause and Purpose. I can talk a little bit about, actually, so my one of my best friend's little sister, she's one of the people that started the club. So she was just telling me about it and saying that they donate to local shelters, so they're like doing drives. And instead of like going to the big corporation, they're doing like local shelters. They meet every Thursday. I know that they have little posts there and they have like bagels and breakfast and they just like kind of talk about, I don't know if they can bring the pets into school. I thought that's what it was, but they're definitely probably looking towards that, I think. So they might ask for that.
Just I'm hearing Mike.
I'm pretty sure they're gonna.
We'll be getting some of your policies out, I think, to talk that through.
We can talk about CC here.
Yeah.
Yeah. CC Theater has their 3 performances of 9 to 5. I believe it's 3. It might be 4, but yeah, I think there's 4. There's starting on Thursday, and then they have 1 Thursday, 1 Friday, and I think 2 on Saturday actually. So I'm planning to go with some of my friends to see some of my friends who are in it, and it's really fun. It's Dolly Parton, obviously. So that should be really good. And I've been seeing a lot on their Instagram, just posts, people behind the scenes and everything, and it's really funny. So I'm really looking forward to going. Another thing that's upcoming, MCAS for the sophomores. I think it's their 2nd round. I think it's next week or the week after, the 18th and 19th, something around then. I'm not sure if it might be English or math.
I think we're in math season now in May.
It's math, okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember if I can like remember the MCAS from sophomore year. But I mean,
You probably remember the science one because it's really late in June, right on your
yeah,
way home.
like near finals. Yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah.
Another thing that'll be that week, I believe, is Student Senate. We're gonna do a Spirit Week. We've already planned out all the days, and then we're gonna release information about it. Hopefully at the end of the week, and we're coordinating maybe with the CCHS PA. We're just hoping to do one last big thing for Student Senate besides our elections. So it'll be probably pajama day, some color themes. There were a few ideas we had that we decided not to do, like dress up like a teacher. But yeah, it'll be really great, and I think hopefully we'll have a lot of good participation. Hopefully from the seniors too, because it's gonna be our last actual week of school before senior week. So yeah, and then if you want to talk about elections, Mark.
Yeah, so student government and student senate are having their elections. I believe it's gonna be like the 2nd week in May. I have to check on that, but basically just turn in a packet and like have people sign it and then do your like campaign thing. So I'll probably be running this year. We'll see.
I hope so.
See, I don't know my class president, we'll see.
Oh, okay, alright, it's got some different things.
Yeah, so we could try to coordinate between Senate and government because they're two different student bodies, but it makes it a little bit easier if everything's happening at once and kids can choose what they want to do. Just because it's a little bit confusing, especially I'd say for newer students about figuring out what's the difference, like what do you want to run for. So we've been working on that in our meetings.
Can I ask at a high level, what is the difference?
What is different? So I was thinking, funny enough, like I feel like Spirit Week is almost, Senate always does Spirit Weeks, but it almost seems like a gov event. But we kind of do like the government does like the fun events where we do like the tournaments and like the pickleball, and then like the prom planning. We also do a lot of the graduation stuff, I think, when like the class president talks. I don't know if the senators talk, any of them, but kind
I
of
think the president of the Senate also talks. I think it's, am I right, Maddie? Are you president of the Senate or no? Who's president of the Senate right
No, I'm not president. That's Lily White. She is, and then Maya Soto's the moderator.
now? Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, sorry. Lily will speak at graduation.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like the Senate and the Gov leader. And yeah, Senate we do the blood drive. We do some Spirit Week and Spirit Assembly things. We're moving a little bit more towards working with admin on seeing anything that we want to work on in the school itself, like taking info from the class and talking to the administration about it and seeing what we can do about suggestions or improvements. It's kind of a long journey, and we're working now on kind of transitioning into that newer role for Senate in general. And it's a little bit tough when leadership changes every year, but we're working on, having the new freshmen come in and understand like this is our goal as the student Senate. But we also do stuff with the students.
Yeah, she does, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And we've been doing club proposals. That's one of our main things that we do. We have clubs come to present, we review them and approve or ask them to maybe work on something. Yeah.
That's so much more than you would think. I feel like there's hundreds of clubs.
There are
It's a lot.
So,
It gets complicated when someone has a great club idea, but we think it's really similar to this other club, and we have to think about, do we want to ask them to merge, or is there room? Because sometimes it feels like there's almost an overflow of clubs, and we'd love to have as many as possible, but we also sometimes try to consolidate. So yeah, it's a lot of work. Yeah, okay, and then another thing that's coming up, prom. That's I think the 16th, so Saturday. Not this coming Saturday, but the next. That's a really big thing. And there's been stuff about tickets. Miss Meeks, who was talking about Green Team earlier, she's spearheading that project, sending out reminders about buying tickets. I think might have been deadline a week ago. And then also she's been sending out events or signups for the senior week event. So there's Six Flags, Kimball's. There's a big senior banquet. There's a lot of graduation rehearsals. And what else? Oh, there's a field day, and there's a awards night. So it's a lot of big things, and I think everyone's really excited and kind of talking about, we're signing up for this. Like, where are we going? What are we gonna do? Yeah. So super
And the senior
exciting.
class also
Coming
does a day of service. They do Prifty Day of
Yes,
Service, which I always
Prifty.
mention.
Yeah.
For David Prifty,
That'll be
so
that Friday.
that kind of kicks
I
it
want
off.
to say the 20th or something, before Memorial Day weekend, I think. Yeah. So that's, I think signups for that are opening in pretty soon. So you sign up for a service job. There are some people, I think Miss Bruno is organizing some of that, and you can sign up to be a leader of a project, or you can sign up just for whatever you want, or you can suggest a project if there's some sort of volunteer work you've been doing and you think it would be a good option for Prifty.
I have two-ish things that aren't on here. It's funny you say signups. I just signed up, they're having now like 8th grade tours. So where the 8th graders come up to the high school and get to see everything. That's coming up, so that's super exciting. And also Melinthi and I, the MECA director, we were on a Zoom call with incoming Concord, was it mostly through K through 8?
Yeah.
But it was like incoming parents. So we're just kind of telling them about like the program in
Great.
Concord. Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. Funny enough, I knew one of the parents, so I talked to them after, yeah.
Alright.
And also we had a Zoom call about MECA parents and vision of the graduate work, so then we
Excellent.
more informing, yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
Well, thank you as always for a super informative update. Maddie, I'm gonna assume this is your last meeting. So thank you so much for being with us. You've been really a great leader and role model for all of us. Mark will continue on next year, we hope, right? With maybe 2 other people. But we wish you the best of luck next year and, stay in touch.
Thank you. It's been so great. And Evelyn sends her regards. She had a really big ballet rehearsal today, so she was hoping she could make it. But I can ask her. She might be able to come. We'll try to come for the June 3rd. It's just tricky when we're graduated and there's a lot going on and there's trips and things. But it's been really great. So thank you.
It's okay if you don't come. So happy graduation. We'll see you at graduation.
Yes. And I think that there will be newly elected Senate representatives. So maybe I'll just pass the torch to them at that point.
Great.
Perfect.
Great.
Thanks,
All
Maddie.
right, thank you. Thanks, Maddie.
Mark.
Thanks, Mark.
Nice to meet you.
All right, always informative. Okay, public comment. I'm not gonna read my usual spiel, but I'll just give the brief abridged version. Public comment is 20 minutes. We're gonna start in the room and then go online, fill out a blue form if you have public comment. And you are limited to 3 minutes, and Mr. Hershik is gonna time that. So up first, we have Wilson Kerr.
Should I sit?
Sure. And the microphones are all working, so.
All around. Hi, Wilson Kerr, 20 Damon Street. The chairs all mentioned this, but I just wanted to comment on what happened at town meeting. Town meeting in the past, for 3 or 4 years, had been extremely contentious. The work done by this school committee, behind the scenes, building relationships, building trust, allowed us to have a town meeting where you said, oh, the article's passed. That is not a small thing. It reflects hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours by this school committee and by our administration. And I just wanted that to be recognized. I was thinking about a couple things, and one was the actual numbers that were hit. The town guideline was 2.5, CPS was a little above that, and yet we came in at 1.9% in totality. And that's because of the big reduction at the high school. Some of that driven by certainly enrollment shifts, we know that. But I also think a hats off should be given to Lori. About 4 or 5 years ago, she started talking about taking out of placement in-house and how that could be huge savings. And I think, I don't know the exact numbers, we're bearing some fruit for that. But it's also worth recognizing that the schools do zero-based budgeting. And I've always heard it, but I didn't quite understand what it meant. And I looked it up just sitting here in the room, and it literally means you build the budget, and then at the end of the period, you should be at zero. You justify every single dime that you're asking for from the community. The other approach is just to take the numbers from last year, bump them up a little bit and see where you go. And that's budgeting also. It's an art budgeting. Zero-based budgeting is incredibly hard. It's incredibly difficult. And I want to commend Bob because this is where the rubber meets the road for the work that he does. He's so quiet, he's so understated, and this is his job, and he does it incredibly well. And our entire town came in at 1.9% in total. Inflation this year is at 3.3%, expected to hit 4%. So we are at a budget that is half of inflation. We are down 2 points to hold it steady. So I just want to recognize that and to say as a member of the public, I recognize it. I don't know where I am on time, but I wanted to end with one thing. You mentioned the fire. I drove home that Monday night. It went late as usual, way over the 9:30. Everyone was tired, exhausted. The budget had passed. Lori did, I thought, an excellent job at presenting it. And I happened to take Central Street instead of Main Street back to my house, and I saw the fire trucks, literally. And there was 9 fire trucks. There was multiple towns involved because when a school alarm goes out, everyone comes. And I got close enough where I could just see what was happening. My daughter's in 3rd grade at Thoreau. And knowing what had happened before and the expense we've been through, I saw the ladders, I could just see the fire trucks, and then a door opened. And all the firemen started coming out in their gear, their Scott packs, and then sort of through the mist, another person came out of the building.
It's very dramatic. You need to finish up because you're at time. You're at time.
That's Bob.
Lori was driving from Northborough.
Bob
so
got
she
it there
couldn't get
first because he hadn't left Concord yet, so he got to go right on over.
Anyway, you guys
Yeah.
go above and beyond, and what you did at town meeting is no small thing, and I just wanna make sure it's recognized, and hats off to Bob and the work that he does, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, we're gonna go online and I think you need to promote Suchi.
Yep.
I apologize if I mispronounced your name.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. My name is Shruti Sharma. I'm from 236 Hayward Mill Road. And I just wanted to take a moment to recognize their elementary school staff this past week, which, you know, they just got recognized for, and I wanted to shout out the same, message here. You know, what could have been a major disruption for students and families was turned into a remarkable example of coordination and care. And I want to highlight that it was just one day that, you know, we had off for the kids, and I'm a thorough mom. And they were able to relocate 8 classrooms, and logistics were reworked, and the school reopened seamlessly. And that doesn't happen by chance. It takes leadership, teamwork, and deep commitment. And I just thought I'll come here, recognize our thorough staff and custodians and everybody who helped the kids to get back on track in a day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
We will pass that along.
Please pass that along. And this is why I love these meetings are recorded. Okay, anyone else in the room? Sure. Can you pass this?
Oh, of course, yeah.
I guess we're going to go on up right to any of the chairs. I don't like the short chairs. We'll fix that one.
We are fixing it. That's just not on wheels. That one doesn't
It's okay.
adjust.
I won't be here long.
Okay.
I'm Ashley Healy from 77 Eden Drive. I had a whole bunch of stuff I wanted to say, but I wanted to thank you, Tracy, for your comments and to the school committee for listening to the concerns that have been coming up around tech. So I'm not going to go through it all because I heard you say you've heard. I did want to, again, thank you for the request for the report presentation. I think it's a great idea. And I just wanted to make a suggestion that one of the things that might want to be asked for would be just some sort of data around the type and amount of the ed tech used in schools, and I would say probably at different levels would be really helpful. I just wanted to give a quick anecdote, which is that 2 weeks ago, my 5th grader came home and was telling me about a video he had watched in his class, and it was really funny because the monkey had a coconut in his ear and someone was drinking from the coconut, and it was so funny. And I was like, well, what was that for? What was the video for? He said it was in Spanish class. I said, oh, which Spanish words were you learning? And he's like, I don't know. Right? And I'm like, okay, great story. I think every teacher in classroom uses the ed tech in different ways. He didn't know what it was for. That doesn't mean that the other kids didn't learn anything. He's one kid. But the point is, I don't know as a parent what it was. And I think parents do want to know. It'd be great to have that information so we can kind of have some maybe uniformity or recommendations from you all. So that's what I wanted to say. I did also just want to, again, echo the thoughts about town meeting. And in the spirit of Teacher Appreciation Week, I wanted to, this is my third thing, I have 3 comments. The third comment is that we just have incredible people in our schools. I had the privilege yesterday of going on a field trip with about 30 first graders to the Butterfly Place in Westford. Drew was there too. And these kiddos are so lucky, man. They're so happy and they're having a blast, and their teachers are incredible, and the bus ride is crazy and loud. they're all like just so happy and they're learning a ton, and we're just very lucky. So thank you for all you do to make that possible, and so thank you.
Alright, anyone else online or in the room?
So Britt had raised her hand. a couple times. I didn't
It's
see her.
down now.
It's down. Okay. Alright, so
Brett,
with,
do you have a comment, Brett?
okay, so with that, I will close public comment. And we will move on to the consent agenda. Alright, and preemptively, we're gonna remove item F, is that correct?
One of
F.
them,
Okay, so I would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda, items A through L, with the exception of item F.
So
moved.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second. Hey Tracy, can I make a request actually?
Yep.
I'm super eager to vote on all these things, but I'm reluctant to vote on meeting minutes that I was not technically present for.
Yeah.
I think I was actually probably present back there for most of them,
Totally,
but
yep.
Is there a way for me to split my vote or should I just abstain altogether?
We could do the meeting minutes separately if you wanna abstain and you wanna vote on the other things. It is allowable to vote, but it's up to you.
I
It's
prefer
very
not
awkward,
to,
I know.
if you don't mind.
You wanna split them?
If you don't mind, if
Okay.
it's not an onerous
So-
process.
So will you withdraw your motion?
I withdraw my motion.
Thank you. Alright, so let's start with the consent agenda. So I would entertain a motion to approve items A, B, C, D, E.
So in G.
Well, we're just gonna do the minutes
You
first.
guys are gonna do the minutes first.
Just the minutes first, okay? And E. Someone to move it?
So moved.
Thank you. Second. Okay, any discussion? Okay, all in favor? Aye.
One abstain.
Thank you. Alright, so now I entertain a motion to approve items G, H, I, J, K, and L.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, and item F, and I will turn this over to Michael and I will share my screen. Hopefully.
Should we move to amend, should we move to just amend to amend?
So like I would entertain a motion to accept the minutes from April 15th, 2026.
Move to amend.
Okay.
Wait, somebody has seconded that.
I'll second it.
He's gonna second it. Michael's moving to amend. Okay, so
And
we have an
I'm
amendment
sorry
on
to
the
make it very confusing. This is Concord only, right?
So this is Concord
CSC.
only. And Drew, so here's the tricky thing, when we vote together.
Yes.
So Lynette and Brian typically say aye for region. And
I see.
you just say, you could say aye for both, if it's for both.
I see.
But this is now just Concord.
Got it.
Okay, so only Concord members will vote on this. These are minutes, you can choose to abstain or not abstain.
Fair.
Okay, all right. Let me see if I can just share this. Can I see my screen? Okay. So I will scroll down. There was just one section, right? in red?
Yes, page 4, section 5.
So you can see the proposed amendment in red.
And the only points I would add is that during the conversation on that, first time of the 3 times it had been discussed, that it was clear that the school was gonna be the fiscal agent and the management, and that we heard that they'll be coming back several times. That was just adding these 2 sentences for that.
Okay. Any questions or discussion? Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Abstain.
Okay, great.
You
Anyone-
send that to
Anyone
Aaron.
opposed? Yes, I will send this to Aaron. So the stapled agenda looks overwhelming, but you know, we're through the consent agenda, it's just very lengthy. Correspondence, we had a few pieces of correspondence from the media that was handled. I did have one that came in over break and I had my vacation responder on, so that was it on that. And then we had one piece of correspondence on technology, so I think everyone's received that. And then we'll move on to discussion. So up first, we have the Thoreau fire update. So with that, I'll turn it to Lori.
Yeah, and I didn't realize I was going to get such lovely lead-ins to the update. So as you heard, last Monday night after town meeting, thankfully after town meeting, and when no children were present, even more importantly, and I'm gonna tell it a little thoroughly, cause I wanna make sure you all know what we're managing here, cause we're gonna be going forward with some capital shifting here. So the 1994 wing, which is the one parallel to the roadway, is open attic space essentially, and Bob, you should chime in at any point. Open attic space over the classrooms. The middle hallway is actually ceiling high, roof high. In that open attic space, we learned 5 years ago that there is not anything other than open space and a fire sprinkler system that is being heated by these space heaters. We learned it 5 years ago because one of the space heaters caught fire. And that was it was a major fire, same as this, actually a little bigger, more extensive damage. We spent that whole next number of months, many months, getting that all, the roof had to be replaced, all the classrooms pretty much were down to studs, walls, ceilings, all of it. Highly supported by the insurance company, as is the case now. So then you fast forward another 2 years, we get it all built back in, and turns out the heaters aren't enough when it's -10 outside and one of the pipes bursts over one of the same classrooms. So we repair half the wing, I'd say, that time. Yes. 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 You hear the theme. And then last week, same problem, different heater. Again catches fire. It's closer to the sprinkler, so the sprinkler puts the fire out a little faster, but those of you who haven't done a fire with me, which sadly I'm on the 3rd major fire in 9 years, which is statistically impossible. The water is the damage. 15 minutes of one sprinkler head running has been running $1 million worth of damage-ish. So this time the water ran primarily over, there's 8 rooms in that wing. It's primarily over the second 2 in from the end of the hallway, but the water bleeds all through the walls, all through the ceilings. So we got a diagram earlier this week outlining the water damage. We expect 4 rooms to go back down to the studs. The other 4 are gonna have some level of replacement walls and et cetera. I can't say enough that Monday night, and I said to Andrew, I'm like, it's a little sad when the superintendent's got Service Master in her phone and can hit the button at 11 o'clock and he's out there. So grateful they were out there all night last week, got the water up really quickly, and we know the faster it starts to dry, the better. The fire alarm company also has to come out because at that point the power's off in that wing, still off, and it will be till we get back online with now temp power. So it was an all-night endeavor. Bob and I stayed till 11, decided to go home and get a few hours sleep. Tim Shudo stayed all night with Service Master and the alarm company. I was then back there at 6:30, met Justin Sparks there, who of course was on the phone through all of this, and we started to make a plan. 11 p.m. I'm standing in an inch of water. I'm like, there's no school at the road tomorrow. So that was where we left it. The next morning, I can't say enough. Justin and I, Bob, Angel, Kara, lots of us over there, Shelley and the other principals keeping the rest of the district running, mapped out an idea of where we could relocate people. It's tight. It's really, like, those of you who weren't on the committee, 5 years ago, we ended up with 8 modular classrooms in the field. It's tight. But it's 35 days left of school, and so we needed an answer quickly. We didn't want to lose another day. Neither did the staff. So, we opened with a staff meeting. Justin shared a proposed plan. Those amazing teachers, and I'm not going to say it was easy. The trauma and the stress of having done this so many times already was really present. And we got through that in about the first hour of like, okay, really hard, and we're all traumatized. And then it became about kids in a way that was so extraordinary. So they worked with us on what room, it was like bartering a room, because they were like, I don't wanna do that, could we do this? And then, hey, I'll go there and you'll go there. It was phenomenal. And I didn't have permission for them to be in the fire wing until noon because it was too wet. Service master's like, Lori, someone is gonna fall over here. But at noon, we had divided up the rest of the staff who was all in that day. And every teacher that needed to move, and remember, it's not just the 8 rooms, there's dominoes, because we put we put 2 into the library, actually, we put 1 into the music room. So dominoes, so we're probably moving 12, 13 classrooms. But each of them had a small army of employees boy, did they just took charge and started delegating. And when we gave them the green light, there was just this stream of, I don't even know where they found all these things, carts, everything suddenly is on wheels.
So music and art are now on wheels.
Yeah, so the end product was, we have relocated, I'll start with the people on traveling. Spanish is on a cart, pushing into the classrooms, art is on a cart, pushing into the classrooms. Library is on a cart, pushing into the classrooms or trying to be creative. The impact of that is the teachers' prep times, the kids are in the room. So everyone's impacted in some way or another. So that gets too cozy at times because they're trying to do the work they're supposed to be doing and the kids are still there. 4 of the rooms were our Pathways program with our highest needs kids in the building. I gotta say, those teachers like, we got it. I mean, all of them were like, we're gonna make it so familiar, they're gonna be fine. And I'll tell you, that attitude went so far, but it meant they were in the weeds, like of what they were putting together. And then two kindergartens and 2nd grade. So if we're up and running, it's really tight. If it was longer than another 5 weeks, it would be a whole nother story. I'd be looking for space to spread out. We have 6 pods out back for storage, about 6. Cause all the furniture has to get out of the rooms have to be empty. Again, especially to go down to studs and all of that. So the rooms are all being emptied. Things are drying for sure. It doesn't smell great in there still. And we did bring in 2 tents back to, as if the fire is not triggering, the COVID feeling is triggering. So we brought 2 tents out back so they can spread out more. I think some classes will get out more. Teachers will have a space outside, at least if they wanna go eat out there, even if it's damp. So we're just in that mode. Bob's been working with the insurance company. Service master will stay very engaged, and then we've got a project manager on the rebuild. So I don't know if you wanna talk on where we are there.
So we had, there's an investigation that happens, especially with this is the second time with this thing, so that's the thing that we're gonna push on the most, but we did talk to Service Master today. They're confident, assuming that we can kind of get the investigation going, that they can do a lot of the work without that because it's up in the attic. They can work on the board, doing the demo of the walls, floor, things like that. But going back to the rooms themselves, they were full with water and stuff. And then if you saw, I wish we had pictures of it, I don't know if we do, but if you saw what they looked like at 11 o'clock in the morning, and then you saw the classrooms at the end of the day that the teachers were in, it was amazing how much they got done. And the spaces that they created were like, I mean, they're not in a normal place, like there's 2 classrooms in the library, but they're very welcoming for the kids, and it was kind of just affirming to watch that process. I don't know that a lot of schools would have had staff that were able to do that. So the teachers led it, and they had instructional assistants helping. We had food service staff was in that day helping, the maintenance team, the building service team. So just kudos to them. Timeline wise, so far we're hearing good things in terms of, we're really just so focused on, we don't want the staff to be impacted by the start of school. We want to get them back to their own spaces. So that's our big focus. Financially, there's they'll cover most of the costs. There may be a copay, but that will probably be applied next year if we have to have it applied. They're covering some of the staff costs to move. We had staff that day that's gonna end up working an extra day, the tutors and the food service staff.
Support the educational support professionals, which is our way of talking about them, that we're gonna pick up an extra day there, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can talk calendar just a little bit, cause that's been another moving piece, and we definitely then need to talk capital project. Calendar, I looked at the staff Tuesday morning and I said, this is your end of year professional day. I can't have them roll into the week of the 22nd because we're right up against the Juneteenth long weekend. So we're gonna swap that for their professional day, so the 17th will be just like everybody else, a half day. The 18th, Thoreau will have children and no one else will. But they'll get their days in and go home with everybody else, which was quite well received. I think the biggest news to the Concord committee, and I stood there Tuesday and said, this is what we're gonna have to do. We're not putting this system back the way it was.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank
Yeah.
you, okay.
Yeah, I think we all agree with that.
I'm like, I think the definition of sanity is doing the same thing over and over. The insurance company will only replace in kind. So I'm on the spot, announced to Bob and Justin, we're gonna give up the parking lot at Thoreau, leave it the way it is. Funnel the money over to whatever we're gonna make, which we're working on, and then we're gonna have to come back and ask for the parking lot money. That'll allow the nature space to continue, that's CPC money over there, like, we'll still keep the improvements we were looking for, except for the parking lot. So we're doing some research there, we actually called in SMMA, who built the middle school and actually did the renovation at Alcott and Thoreau 20 years ago, so they graciously, I just wanted some other people to talk to that weren't insurance connected, so SMMA sent some folks out, they were up Friday of last week, took the lay of the land and are due to get us some options. It looks like the options include a dry suppression system, spray foam, or lowering the sprinklers into the classrooms. Those are the three we've got so far. We have a lot of homework to do on all of them. So we can't speak to what the best option is yet.
I have my mind, but I won't say it out loud.
Alright, we each have a favorite, but we don't actually have all the information.
I'm not a technical expert, it just, one
Yeah.
of them seems like we just need to find out what will work,
Yeah.
what the cost is, and then hear what their recommendations are. We don't wanna,
This is unique at Thoreau, right?
Yes.
Millard and the others, Alcott don't have this system.
Yeah, I don't know why it was
I
designed
keep
that
pushing
way.
on all the professionals, I'm like, do you see this system here? And they all go, yeah.
Well, so when you and I chatted, you didn't know if it was the unit they replaced one for one or
I
the
think it's
same
an
vintage, right,
old
on the
one,
other
right?
side?
The unit that had caught fire?
Yeah.
I think it was a different one that
It's
caught
one
fire.
of the other
is
old
my
ones, so they
understanding.
replaced the one that caught fire 5 years ago, but the other ones that are 20 years old are still there.
There's no recall on these, there's no.
Apparently not.
No, they
Recall
did a
reports?
study and apparently they
Yeah.
didn't find that it was a common widespread issue, but this is twice in one school, so.
Maybe now can be
I
considered
think they
common.
might hopefully
Yeah.
have a different
Yeah.
approach this time.
Yeah.
But they won't, I don't even know if they'll tell us, like that's between the insurance company and the manufacturer now. We're here to support, like they need access to do their investigation. But I don't even know if we'll find out what they.
So I'm not, but like if the insurance company finds these to be faulty and there's something, they would take care of that separately and our money from insurance is independent of that?
I think so.
Yeah.
They'll pay to repair to the same condition. The part that will be a little bit of discussion is if they were, I mean, the heaters are already there. I don't think that's a substantial portion of the cost to repair it. Most of it's gonna be doing the walls, the floor.
no,
and
I know.
Yeah.
So, if we have some type of different solution, they would view that as incremental and not pay for it.
And you had mentioned that you might be getting a down payment from insurance, so we're not out any school money in the interim?
So they've already fronted us a decent amount of money to work with for
Okay.
incidentals. I can't say enough, and shout out to Maya that, a school fire, they're on the phone with me the next morning, the upper people saying, we're gonna take care of this. Our insurance adjuster, who we work so collaboratively with, was out Tuesday noon time. Sadly, they have all the specs for everything, the cabinets are all custom, of course, they're like, well, we could just take care of that, so we feel very well supported, it's a really great environment to work through all of this, which has always been the case regardless of what version of pipe bursting or fire or whatever, so. And we wanna demonstrate to the insurance company that we don't wanna do this again, because we also don't want them to drop us. Which they have never said, I think they're here to support us, but it does seem we have to do something different.
you changed our premium exposure?
Sure, yes, and of course, this is CPS, so this will be the town of Concord, and we've had ongoing discussions with them when things like this happen and try to be collaborative about that. Right now, we're talking about the deductible and trying to work together on that, so.
Yeah. We ironically have a safety committee starting that's specifically focused on property losses for the region, but it's the same people, like it's gonna be me, the facilities manager, and so we'll probably just make it a both district committee. I should also mention too, the responsiveness of the inspectors in the town, the fire
Yes,
department.
yes,
We have like a cell
everybody.
phone number of a wiring inspector. Inspectors are notorious for not, not necessarily being easy to get a hold of, but they were like, call us right away if you have, so.
They're just dropping by to
Yeah.
see if they can help, make sure they're part of the progress and not slowing anything down. So we are so grateful to see Concord Fire, Concord Police helped me manage the press that was on site Tuesday morning, in addition to the folks you have all supported us with, the town leaders, insurance, service master, the staff. PTG had bagels and coffee and lunch on site. I don't know how they did it that fast, but boom, then that was that. I mean, we couldn't have asked for any more support, so. And most importantly, as you heard, the kids didn't lose a beat. They lost one day and back, I mean, teachers jumped right back in. They were teaching Wednesday morning.
So my son is in one of the classes that's in the library now, and I can attest he feels right at home.
Great.
The learning part hasn't skipped a
Yeah.
beat, so that's great.
Yeah.
Appreciative of what.
We heard some kids were disappointed their rooms didn't move, and we were like, we're yeah, so.
We may need, like if we do get a design, we can certainly share it.
Yeah.
Your last scheduled committee meeting in June, we may need, if we get a
Might be a
design and can go out to
special
bid, we might actually need you to vote
Yeah.
during the
A
summer.
Concord meeting.
Have a
The
meeting in the
Concord
summer,
meeting.
yeah.
The last time this happened, was there any party found at fault? Because the insurance company is always looking for somebody, no
Sure.
manufacturer,
No.
and they didn't try to pin it on the construction company either, okay.
No.
Okay.
No.
Interesting. Oh. Good.
So we're really just grateful. Everyone did what they do best here and just appreciative.
It seems like things are really moving along, and I feel weird saying, like, I was like, oh, it's just another fire, like it just, things just kind of get fixed very quickly around here, and thank you to Lynette and Brian for entertaining this discussion, because we realize it's not regional, but it is actually helpful when you hear other people's things sometimes.
Yeah, I mean,
to realize the
we're way
reaction,
too
right?
experienced at this. That's part of why we're coming, cause we know how to do it, unfortunately.
Well, we appreciate clearly the extra time and effort that's gone into this.
It was a
This-
long week I'm not
yeah.
gonna sugarcoat it too
No.
much. It was a really long
Yeah.
week for everyone last week in that building and us up here, so. Yeah.
Right, and the fact that both of you went home, were on
No,
your way.
Bob didn't get home.
Bob didn't get home, but
'cause
Lori got home and turned around.
I got home, literally in the driveway, the phone lights up. And I run in, I change my shoes, cause I know how wet that building's gonna be. And I look at my husband and going back to Concord, he's like, what? The building's on fire again. Oh,
Literally.
he confuses it with the high school fire and
No.
anyway.
This goes back to the other
We
building.
did what we needed to do and that's,
Well,
thank
we're
you.
certainly appreciative of that,
Yeah.
and cause it was a long week, and
It was.
these are things that, people don't see, they happen seamlessly, your kids go
Yeah.
back to school seamlessly, but there are a lot of people behind making that happen.
Yeah, I mean, I think Wilson did a nice job of describing, cause there were still 9 trucks there, we were there, and like, the scene itself makes you realize it's just a big deal, and
It's a big deal, yeah.
it's super important we get it right, keep kids safe.
That's right. All right, thank you for the
Thank you.
update.
Thank you.
All right, we're good. All right, so with that, I'm gonna give a super brief update on the Maisie O'Donnell Dive Center. Today I was at a meeting with the general contractor for that project and with town staff, so it was Jess Porter, Lee Jackson, the director of the BD Center, I'm gonna get people's names wrong, the facilities director, the building inspector, and town and planning. So they're at the phase of schematic design, so they have a schematic design of what they're looking to do. And the design is going to go into the parking spaces, which we discussed at our last meeting. So the spaces need to be relocated someplace on the campus. So there's a certain number of spaces, and this is a very high level overview. And I'm I'm not gonna get the number right, cause they didn't even have the number right today, so it was like, say it's way more than 200 spaces, and Ron was there too. If we get rid of 5, we have to replace 5 anywhere on the campus, and it's between the district and BD, who determines where they get we will determine where they get relocated, but who uses the space. So we're gonna need to have some further discussion on this, once they have a plan, but they listened to all of the concerns of anyone that was in that meeting. We talked about safety, there was a discussion about relocating to the Walden Street entrance. And I said that the school committee, because at our last meeting, we talked about that was not something that we were interested in doing. So the design team is going back to figure out some potential spaces where they can relocate these spaces to. Okay, so it's definitely a very collaborative project. We're all very much in support of the project. The town is in support of it. I said the school committee is in support of it. And we're just gonna really work together to make it happen as efficiently as possible. And that's it. Any questions about that?
So the BD Center staff, cause they lease the land from the schools?
So we have an agreement between the town of, so all the agreements are online.
With the town?
So we own the whole campus and we have an
Yes.
agreement with the BD Center and they use it.
Okay, so we will determine the parking spots and they will not vote on it themselves?
No,
Yeah, okay.
no, we determine any changes to the campus.
Yeah, okay.
So no matter what, the design has to get approved by us because it's a change and an alteration to the campus.
In terms of areas that they're looking, that they just list the places that they're looking at to move this parking to Walden's out, or
So-
any other place.
Yep, so some of the discussion was, so we, I'm gonna get the impervious surface thing wrong. So we have a certain amount of impervious surface at the high school, so any addition, we would have to file an appeal for, or someone would file the appeal for that. If you just wanted to add 6 more spaces and I asked about like, if we had gravel, do we need to do that? Yes, you do, cause gravel or asphalt or whatever surface they use, we would have to get special permission and would be an appeal process. So they're also gonna investigate that. They're gonna investigate doing that or relocating the spots. Now, if you were to remove any of the surface, you can put that much surface back in. So there was a little bit of discussion and, this is not set in stone, so to speak. I don't wanna say the word stone, but like if you removed, say, 200 feet of stone, you could put 200 feet of asphalt down. So that was part of the discussion today. So they're investigating all the options.
Okay.
And so there's more to come on that. So we will definitely have to approve the design once they get to that phase. But the design team has more work to do. And they're gonna study it and figure out some options to bring to us.
Has it affected the timeline?
If we need to go through an appeal, it might affect the timeline, but they're not at a point that the design's finished yet either, so we're all cognizant of timeline. But, if everything aligned and everything went perfectly, cause I asked that question, like, what is the actual timeline? Maybe opening like next spring or summer, but without a design, we can't even say that. It's a building project that will move a little bit faster because it is a public-private partnership, so. Anything else on that? No? Okay. And up next, we have our CPAC presentation. So CPAC President Ashley Healy is with us. I think Lori's gonna share her screen. Feel free to use the higher chair. It's like a pet peeve that I have. I don't like to sit in the short chair.
I learned my last one.
It's just one.
That one, yeah.
It works in PowerPoint. Right. Hey, welcome.
This one's working.
PowerPoint works, Google Slides doesn't, so. Yeah, you're in PowerPoint.
Old fashioned, so. Alright.
So welcome. Thank you so much for joining us and we're happy to have you.
Alright, hi everybody. So I'm Ashley. I'm the president of the Special Education Parent Advisory Council of the CPAC for Concord and Concord Carlisle. I just have like brief slides just sort of explaining what we are. We are a parent group. We're all volunteers. We advise the school committee and the administration on matters pertaining to education and safety of children ages 3 to 22 in the district who are on IEPs or 504s. And again, we're Concord Public Schools and Concord Carlisle Regional School District. Next slide. So what we do, generally our purpose in the community is we're offering support and connections to families. We do this with coffees, sort of informal just gatherings. We call them coffees. We usually are drinking coffee. Could be anything. Private meetings and office hours. The private meetings are more just if people want to just connect outside, like we usually have somebody that can meet with them, especially if they have a specific question. You know, they say my child has, you know, this sort of support. Do you have anyone else in the organization? And we'll be like, oh, well, you can talk to so-and-so, and we sort of will connect people that way. This is a really big priority for us because for me, I like to make sure people have a face to put with the organization. We have an email address that people can email with questions, but you don't, it's concordcpac@gmail.com. It's like you don't know who's reading that necessarily, or who, like, if it's private, you know, whatever. And sometimes these things can be, you know, pretty personal. So this is our way of sort of being visible and connecting with people. Next slide. So we also are responsible for providing information, education, and resources to families and also the greater community on all kinds of things related to special education. We do this with all kinds of things, speakers, workshops, community events, social media, and we also are working to foster greater acceptance, understanding, inclusion, and awareness of our special education community. We have a very diverse group of learners in the district, and so we are trying to bring that to light and make sure folks are aware and can be inclusive, because sometimes people don't know what they don't know. We meet regularly with Lori and Angel and Fran Wolf and other members of the school committee and administration to have dialogue and keep each other apprised of issues that we're hearing or they're hearing, and just sort of keep each other in the loop. And we advise the school committee and the administration on those issues when they come up. So the next slide is just showing our board. From this past year, we had 10 board members this year, and 5 of them were first-time board members. That was a really great thing, because we always want new people coming in, and we need new perspectives. And we have some people with younger kids, some people with kids at all levels of the school. So it's really great to have that, and it's been a really great year with this group. So just gonna go over some of the goals we had for this year. Some of them are similar or the same as last year, but we were kind of building upon last year. So we really wanted to be more visible and active in Concord and Carlisle communities at large. We're trying to really provide, as I said, those opportunities for parents to connect with each other and to feel supported and resourced here in Concord and in Carlisle. And then next slide, sorry. I'm going on mine. And we wanted to also increase our communications with membership. So what we were doing last year was really building our own distribution list. For obvious reasons of confidentiality, we cannot have a list of all the parents' info who have kids on IEPs and 504s in the district. So it's really an opt-in type of system. So when we see people at a coffee, or just honestly sometimes just talking to somebody at a sporting event, and you know, if they ask, can we get your emails, we have our list. So last year we did a lot of building of that list, and this year we were increasing those communications with the folks that opted in. We're also trying to again maximize CPAC members' use of and access to existing resources in our community and in our state. Not trying to, you know, redouble efforts that have already been done. There's a lot of great work going on all over the state and with other CPACs too. So really trying to maximize, people just need to know about these things. And then again, just building upon relationships with the administration, because it's important, like I said, to have the dialogue. So this is a way we can offer help and collaboration where it's needed, and sort of bring up issues and topics, and also talk about what are the things the parents need to know about or want to know about when we're talking about education and resources. So some of the ways we did this was we continued this year to hold office hours at the public library. We started this last year. Last year I was going every Tuesday. This year I went once a month. As much as I love the library. We don't always see people coming to these. I've had people sort of drop by because they see me sitting there with my sign, which is always great because again, the visibility I think is very important. I've told people I'm having office hours, come by, but then sometimes they are the same, like the day after we had a coffee and the person comes to the coffee and they don't come to office hours. So I love doing this and everyone I talk to has great feedback and says, I'm so glad you do this. What a great idea, because people can just drop in with a question. But I think I'll only have like 2 people this whole year. I'm going next Tuesday, so maybe I'll have more. I don't know. But
It's great because those 2 people got a lot out of their meeting with you.
I hope so. And it was a similar thing where I was able to connect them with somebody else. I said, this is who you should email, you know, and hopefully, you know, I don't always follow up because it's not always my business, right? But it's I think it's good to have it. So I'm glad we did it. We're gonna figure out if we're gonna keep doing it. We also had 7 coffees. We're having one more in May. And again, those I think have been the most successful thing we did this year. We had more attendance than we've ever had before. So that was awesome. And again, with the communications we reinstituted, we used to do a monthly newsletter and we hadn't done it since I've been on the board, which is my 5th year. So this year we're doing it. It's just once a month. It's just an email to that list that I mentioned and it just says, here's the dates of what we have this month. Here's the day of office hours, here's the coffee, any other events that are going on. And once in a while, with point 4 that an event or a webinar that's happening from FCSN, other CPACs. FCSN is the Federation for Children with Special Needs, and we have a membership with them through the district, and it's a really amazing resource, so we're really trying to boost that. And then again, hosting events designed to help folks access the local and state resources for children with disabilities and special needs in learning. And then the next few slides are just our events. We did quite a bit this year. We had our opening coffee at Ride Out. We have always done them outside until last year, and that's a COVID thing. And then we realized, well, we can only have maybe like 2 in the fall. So we like having the first one at Ride Out. It feels nice and it's still nice out. And then we did for the first time the CPAC play date. You can see we did it by the different age levels. I definitely like to do that again. We want to add a preschool slot. I don't know why we didn't do that. We like, I think the day before, like Lauren Judge is the preschool person and she sent a thing being like, come at 10 or whatever for the K and 1, but that was my mistake. So, but it was great. It's just nice. Sometimes at the beginning of the school year, people just want to meet other people. And I think especially for the younger kiddos, it's a really good idea. So, sorry, my alarm's going off for some reason. October, we had a FCSN workshop that we really kind of promoted out to our members about bullying, and it's specific to children with special needs. Parents as Partners is a presentation that Angel Charles does every year, because parents are a part of the IEP team, and so folks who might be new to the district or new to the special education process get an opportunity to hear about what that looks like and how do we collaborate, and sort of meet some of the people in the district that are doing this work. We had 2 coffees at Saltbox in October and November. December 1st, we had a summer camp information night at the main library that was in person, which is tough. We were like, December 1st is getting there. We're like almost in the too busy season. It was, I think, a Monday. So we didn't have a huge turnout, but we had it recorded and it was really amazing. So we had, I think, 4 or 5 different camps in the area. And they had representatives who talked about what they do to have accessible programming in summer camp or adaptive programming. and the people that were there like, loved it. So we're definitely gonna do that again and hopefully even build out the roster. And the picture you see is sort of, we decided to have a little bit of a tabling part of it before the presentation, and I think that was really great for people. Smart coffees, the FCSN does basic rights workshops every year, and we're required as part of our membership to put those on. So this year we were just like, all right, here's when they are, please come. You'll see for February 2nd, the coffee changed to the new Starbucks on Elm Street. That was because it was a Monday and we didn't realize that Saltbox was closed. So we pivoted and it actually turned out to be the best possible space. And it kind of stinks because we wanted to support the local business, but actually we've had like 12, 13 people coming to the ones at the Starbucks just because there's that huge table in the middle.
Yeah.
So we did the rest of them for the year there. So we're gonna have to talk about that because there's pros and cons. Another basic rights, understanding the IEP. And then in March, we moved our coffee to the evening. We've had sort of evening things in the past that have not been well attended. This had a dozen people. So we're like, okay, great. So we've decided we're gonna just alternate them, I think, and have like every other month be a daytime one and every other be an evening one, because not everybody can do mornings and not everybody can do evenings. So try to mix it up. Again, sort of create those touch points for people, give them more opportunities. And then last month, it's May. At the end of March, Angel organized this really incredible parent information night that was about the agencies in Massachusetts and what they can offer students with disabilities. She had representatives from the Department of Developmental Services, the Department of Mental Health, and it was really incredible. And it was great because it was a lot. I think it was 2 hour not webinar. It was a Zoom. But she had it blocked out so people could choose what time to log on if there was a specific agency they wanted to hear from, which I thought was really helpful because we try to really respect people's time, as all of you know very well. It was really wonderful and a lot of great information with that. And then just morning coffee. I wanted to just quickly brag on this slide because we did not have a specified events chair this year. Our publicity chair, Chris, was incredible with creating beautiful graphics, and she updated them like by season for each coffee, and they were really lovely. So I really wanted to show that. She did a great job, and that was again a morning coffee. And then this is what's ongoing or upcoming. So we have appreciation awards are going on now. If you want to know about the history of the CPAC Appreciation Awards, you can ask Tracy. She is the inventor of them. So basically what this is through the month of April, we ask parents and caregivers in the district to use our Google form and nominate anyone. It can be anyone in the district who has made a difference to your child who's on an IEP or a 504. So this year we had about 150-ish nominations for, I think, 97 discrete people. So a lot of people got multiple nominations. It's really hard getting people to it's really hard to get people to fill out the form. I think on the Monday before they were due, I had 47 that had been submitted, and the last 47 came in the last hour. I was like watching the Google form. And that's okay. We're just excited that we can honor these folks. So what we're doing this year, just like last year, instead of a ceremony, we are handing out, there's a certificate that they get, and then we print out the comments that people left in their nomination forms and give them to the people. And this year we got these beautiful bags that Concord Possibilities designed and printed for us. And each person that got a nomination gets one with their thing in it and like a little ribbon with their name on it. And I have one for everybody who's here.
That was
I
very
had no idea what I
good.
was in for.
Because we appreciate all of you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ashley. Ashley, it was so amazing when the possibilities piece came into this discussion because
Okay,
it's
yeah.
just
I needed it. I was like, I have to
perfect.
because these are so beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much.
You also have an individualized piece.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Drew, you don't get something every meeting.
We are so happy that
This is
Concord
it.
Possibilities is a thing.
Yeah.
This
Oh,
is
it's
like,
amazing.
it's
Yes.
so amazing. We're never doing anything ever again besides getting the gifts from there. It just makes all the sense.
Yeah.
It's so
Yes.
awesome. Radka was amazing. She said the kids were excited because it's like, it's their teachers too.
Yeah.
So anyway, we're really excited. We're still delivering. I have boxes in my car, it's fine. They'll be done by Friday, cause then I'm leaving.
I love the delivering, and you know what, the ceremony was a very COVID-y thing. Like, we're just looking to do something, so I think what you've done with it has been
Yeah.
amazing.
I think the ceremony is great. We're just,
It's too much at
we
this
have a
time of
hard
year.
time adding one more thing in May
Yeah.
for people to do in the evening. It's just, it feels overwhelming.
Right, and I think the teachers too appreciate this so much more because sometimes they really wanna be there, but they might be
Yeah.
like going home to get their kid off the bus. So it really, I think this is really the way to go.
And the front offices are super awesome and helpful too. I just wanna shout them out because I basically show up with this big box and I'm like, here you go. And I'm like, however they wanna do it. I know at Willard, they were like, they asked for a list of the people and they're like, we're just gonna email them and just say like, come to the office and get your thing right. And someone might put them in mailboxes. I don't need to dictate what they do. People get their rewards and we're very happy. Anyway, and then we have one more coffee coming up, evening coffee. And I think that's it. So in what's next, I did wanna just say, we had, like I said, 5 new board members this year. We will have a different looking board next year. I'm going to be stepping off as president, but hopefully staying on the board in another capacity. I like being involved. I don't have the capacity to do all of these things, to the level that I think they need to be done. But we have other folks that are willing and ready to step up. We have some people shuffling their positions, so it's gonna look a little different. We'll be talking, we're having just kind of a meet together to talk about the slate for next year, and we're in the process of scheduling that, and just also the responsibilities. I'm, as my last free lawyer work for this town for now. I'm like redrafting our bylaws because they're very outdated and they needed updating and the rules are not totally clear, so we're getting that done. And then we just heard at our board meeting last week, Angel gave a great overview. I know it was town meeting night, so it was a tough one. She gave a great overview of sort of the updated DESI guidance that's come out around seclusion and timeouts, and we have several board members that are very interested in the topic, and so we're willing, wanting to advise and collaborate on that in the new school year as those are implemented as needed. So I would say that's what's next. Our contacts up here, I think everyone knows that, but just good to have. And if there's any questions, I'm happy to answer.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say for a volunteer organization, the breadth of programming that you've
Yeah.
done is very impressive. But the question is, how can we support you better?
I mean, I think we always have a school committee representative at our meetings, and so if there's things that are specific to that, I think I would like to see more board participation at these meetings. That's been very challenging in the past. We've talked about having like a liaison to the school committee who either attends online or comes in person to make public comment. I think we can be a little bit more proactive in letting you all know what we're working on, and I think we're gonna talk about some ways to do that. But I appreciate the offer, and I mean we've felt very supported, even if we're not always sort of out there asking for things. So thank you for asking that.
It strikes me as, we work a lot on the budget here and write a budget and putting Lori's vision of insourcing a lot of the services, but you don't think of like the growth from your perspective and the parent involvement and the events and all that other stuff. So it's really cool to see.
I mean, I think the energy that you have brought as being the president of CPAC has absolutely been amazing. And, Ashley also, she doesn't tell you this, but she comes to the PTG meetings every month. And just having a seat at the table with CPAC, I think is hugely important. and just the awareness that you brought for that community. I mean, when I was part of CPAC, we couldn't get people to join the board. So the fact that you have 10 board members on there is really amazing, and I do think that you are visible and you are very much seen now, so I really appreciate your leadership. We're gonna miss you in that role, but I know you're not going anywhere. And you know, in your monthly meetings, like Lynette's been to some, and the outreach with Carlisle has been great, and I think, you know, to do more things together between Carlisle and Concord would be wonderful.
Yeah, and just we'll shout out Adrian too, who is the other half of the team, yeah.
That's actually what I wanted to ask, and I think I asked this question last year as well, is just what has the collaboration been with the Carlisle CPAC and the Concord Carlisle CPAC?
You wanna get to know Emmy? So last year I felt like we had gotten off to more of a start because there were some new folks who had just taken over sort of the Carlisle CPAC, and they were really new and they wanted to sort of talk about, I mean, how can we collaborate, but also just what should we be doing, right?
Yeah.
And I've seen Carlisle this year really doing a lot more with the social media and working some of those channels as we had discussed. We at the Concord CPAC did not do a ton of big community events this year like we did last year. So we were not necessarily doing the collaboration like we had talked about. Like, can we get together and like host a speaker? We just were not able to pull that together this year. But we are in communication. Lynette and I were able to meet early in the year and just sort of have that conversation. And we are in contact, but I would like it to be more active again. It's sort of, I wouldn't say it fell off, it just lost a little momentum when we, this year, I think really tried to just focus on doing much more parent-centered work. But it's, you know, it kind of goes up and down each year. It's a little different. I have this vision, and I shouldn't even say this since it's not my board ananymore next year. I'm like, I have this vision for next year. I know, I'm still president. My vision would really be that now that we have really built up the membership this year. We have people who are really actively coming to things and engaging with us. I would like to do more of those events again. So sort of, we took this dip, right? And now we have members and we can really talk to the members and the people who are active and coming to us and what do you want to see? Like, what speaker would you like to hear from, right? And then collaborate that way. So I think there's a lot of space for that in the coming year.
And Carlisle's CPAC, I mean, Brian, you loosely know this, had some challenges with the chairs, and so that was also our ball dropped as well. But I did want to say thank you for extending all of the events that you did to the families in Carlisle, even the pre-K through 8 families, and allowing us to share that and kind of piggyback on what you're doing, because we are a small population, parents who have children with special needs, and it's very it's nice to connect like earlier than later.
I don't see any reason why the K through 8 needs to be separate. Like I know it is separate, it's a different CPAC, but in terms of they're all gonna be in high school together, these kiddos, so there's no reason not to build those connections now, and it is a community, it is a unified community. So yeah, I would love to see that, and like I said, I believe I understand those challenges, and
We do not have 10 board members.
We were very I know, it's, you know, I mean, that's a huge lift for one person, even for 2 people. So hats off, and like I said, I'm always available.
No, you've been wonderful. I was gonna say thank you. You've been wonderful sharing information with me, and I've been able to, through this avenue, kind of connect with you and share that back with Carlisle, and that's been really great for all of the families. We're a small little number, and it feels nice to have a few more friends over in Concord.
For sure.
And should Lynette come over to the region, perhaps she will be the liaison. Just a strong suggestion for that.
If I'm still on the school committee in a month.
campaign. Let's get a naive question. What is like the legal entity? Are you a standalone like 501c3?
It's not a 501c3.
What is
So
it?
there's a statutory authority in Massachusetts for each district to have a CPAC.
So you're sort of a subsidiary of the committee or the town or the
We are
district?
under the purview of the school committee technically under the statute, but the statute is very vague as to what we're actually supposed to do, which is why we have bylaws.
To Jefferson.
What about the sources of funding and the needs for funding for an organization? I imagine it's pretty,
We-
bootstrapped, but I
Well,
wonder.
So there are some CPACs that are 501c3s.
Uh-huh.
We have chosen again and again to not do that. There's many reasons why that's a very difficult thing to do. And you do, I've been on 501c3 boards before and
Yes.
and there's a lot of legal things, there's tax things. So we cannot fundraise
Right.
and we don't fundraise. The funds that we get from the district. We have funds for like the appreciation award gifts, which I think also by doing it through Concord Possibilities, there's a lot more room for opportunity there because there's different pots and they're all kind of going to the same thing. So we love that too because that program is so incredible and those kids do such an amazing job. Kids, they're students, they're awesome. And then, we have a small budget for like reimbursement if we do the coffees, but the thing is, now that we've brought the coffees into establishments, there's no cost associated with them at all because everyone just gets their own stuff
they
and
just
sits
get their
down,
own stuff.
yeah. Like when we did that at Ride Out, we were buying like Box of Joe and asking for reimbursement, but there's no reason to do that and actually people are more comfortable.
Right.
Just get what you want,
what you
and
want,
just
yeah.
sit and hang out, some people get food, like it's whatever you wanna do. And then you're not like worried about like food allergies, like it's just nice to just kind of have it, so we do not really have expenses associated with what we're doing. Sometimes there's like things with speakers and that's something we get school committee approval for. And again, that's another reason to do it with another district. Sometimes that's very helpful. We've seen a lot of CPACs in Massachusetts doing these bigger events where they're collaborating. Yeah, with a few towns, like a region. It just depends on what it is. So some of the speakers are very desirable and there's like a lot of towns that would wanna do it. Then it becomes the tricky question of like, well, where are we doing it? Are we doing it at CCHS or are we doing it online so that it's more accessible? That's always a tricky thing too. In person's more engaging, as we all know, but Zoom makes it easier and we're doing all our board meetings on Zoom still and we'll probably continue for the foreseeable future. All of us on the board are parents of kids with special needs, so you're not.
You usually get a little glimpse of
It's
one of the
actually
kids
great.
as they're all running
Oh,
around
yeah.
getting ready for bed.
But that happens frequently.
Whatever, yeah. And just cat
Cats
gets
too.
on, yeah.
Well, thank you
Thank
so
you.
much
Thank
for
you.
being
Thank
with
you
us.
for it.
We look forward to all the times.
Alright.
So in the interest of time, I'm gonna ask Lori to be
Yeah.
extremely brief
Yeah,
because
I agree.
and I'm gonna ask Bob the same thing.
Yep.
Because Lori, her goals are we have her goals. Every week we get evidence through her weekly update according to Strand, so I'm gonna ask her to run through her goals.
Yes, I
Give us
will
an
be brief because
Mhm.
I feel like this is more for the public facing.
Yes.
Because all of you get so much information,
Yeah.
so it's consolidating that. I did go back through the goals and highlight with our, original red, yellow, green plan. And I just wanna pop a few of them out. I left that one yellow there with intervention services, and I think I
Can you
could.
make it a little bigger on the screen?
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
The reason I couldn't go farther, not because we're not talking about it and strategizing it, but because we are missing some key personnel, especially math intervention right now. So given that the budget didn't support that yet, I just felt like yellow was a good message to all of us that we have to keep talking about that. I did not move forward with the new rubric with the evaluation. I had conversations with the CTA and CCTA. We mutually agreed to not do it this moment.
Okay.
So it'll stay on the list and roll forward. I gave it a green because I had the conversations and we came to an agreement of what to do.
Yeah.
We just didn't decide to move that forward. I think the rest of it has been covered in many other places, so I'll just highlight then, I did have just because it's fun to
Wow.
play with to some extent. I wanted to get a more consolidated version to share, and in giving you, what just happened to my share screen option?
I don't know, but something really
Something
weird happened when you.
Yeah, I
noticed it.
can't share now.
Special effect.
It was like
little special effects.
I was gonna
Yeah,
show
I know
you
this
my
notice,
nice
so-
little notebook LM summary, but now I can't screen share. It's really
I
odd.
think that's a Zoom situation, that looked very Zoom-like.
Yeah, I can,
Weird.
there's no screen share left on Zoom. Up there, I got it, never mind. Something strange happened, but we're back.
Andrew left, that's what happened.
What was interesting to me, and I used Notebook LM, I took all of my weekly updates to you and put it in and said, give me I think it calls it a executive summary. It was really interesting to see just what it pulled.
Yeah.
I thought I really didn't edit this. It was really just interesting, cause obviously it has to pick things that are mentioned multiple times and gives progress updates, and it was kind of a validation. I'm like, oh, it named EL, it named anti-Semitism, it named vision of a graduate, some of the things we spent a lot of time about. So I did this, I think, as more community facing. Maybe than for you folks, but it's a nice overview of the work that's gone on in the district.
It'd be interesting if you give it the goals and ask it to kind of.
It would. It would. I'm gonna keep, you can go down a big
Oh, yeah,
black
yeah.
hole with the AI. It would, maybe that's next year's thing, is to try to get it to map what I give you with the goals. So hopefully this is helpful to the community to see what we really focused on this year, and it obviously aligns with improvement plans, and you'll see those in June, and the strategic plan.
So this was great, there was one, I guess, comment on the
Sure.
the communication plan.
Yes.
The family engagement plan, that looks more like, from you to family. It's
Yeah.
one-way communication, so I know in the emails you've sent, it
Yeah.
has, instances of both, so maybe a little bit of
Good point.
feedback mechanism back.
That's a great point. Yep, great point. Great.
Alright, any other?
I'm only curious what you jumped out as you as the biggest win.
Oh, there's a
Maybe
few this year, I think.
probably you or the team, yeah, anything.
I'm gonna name anti-Semitism. We are a much better district for our Jewish families than we were a year ago. It was a hard way to get there, but we are. I think the EL rollout has been overall successful, hard, but successful.
Yes.
And I think the other big one, I'm gonna just shout out the high school, the vision of a graduate.
Yeah.
We didn't have the vision of how this played out at the beginning of last year. It evolved as the design committee work happened and we get inspired to get more feedback, and then it's like, oh, we want everybody to get feedback, and suddenly Brian and Katie are on the road to all the schools in Carlisle, and so I think to me those are the top three. Yeah. And we got to guideline on the budget. We get 6 months of our lives to work on all these other things if we're not
Right.
iterating the budget from December till town meeting, so that's the other positive, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome, thanks for asking.
Okay,
Great.
we're good. Alright, Bob, I'm gonna ask you to be super brief, cause this is just a standard budget transfer, we have the information. I'm giving you a strong, be really brief, Bob.
That's
suggesting he's not free?
super brief from
Super brief.
from you and Carrie Rankins was double time, so
Yeah.
different. So most of these drivers in the transfers and adjustment column, it's the third, it's the fourth column over is essentially what you need to approve tonight. We're requesting approval for. Most of these are not changed significantly from what you've seen earlier in the year. So I'll only comment on a couple. The fixed charges, our benefits are driving that. Included in what we have left to pay there is our OPEB contribution of $375,000, so it looks like there's a big balance of $803, but we don't encumber our premiums for benefits because of the way they're processed, and then we have to pay $375 for OPEB, so all of that will be spent. On the last line, the out of district tuition, I would also say the maintenance, the heating costs were a little bit more because of a cold winter. We're still monitoring that. There's some possibility that we have to increase that slightly, but so that's what's driving maintenance. And out of district tuitions were slightly above budget overall, but part of this is we're we're receiving more circuit breaker funds to offset, we're actually up over a little bit more. But the additional circuit breaker funds that we're receiving beyond what we had anticipated are helping to cover some of those costs. That's it. I mean, the rest of the items are fairly similar to what you've seen earlier in the year.
Go ahead, Frank.
No, I was gonna make a motion, so if you have a.
I only have one question, which is, are we really, the original budget to the adjusted budget is like on the nose? Like, tell me how that sausage gets made, because it seems almost impossible.
We're not allowed to increase or decrease the budget overall. So we're taking money in, so if you see, I'll just pick one as an example.
Yes.
District leadership and administration, we're spending 18,000 more.
I see.
And it all has to balance in this
You
column.
have to take the puts and takes and make
Yes, it has to net to zero.
Oh boy.
So
Wow, it's very different than
private sector, you
Yeah.
get, yeah.
And we have to vote to transfer.
Transfer.
Got it, okay, fascinating.
We can do line item transfers within a category, but if we need to reallocate between categories, that has to come
That's
to
what we're voting for.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect. Fascinating.
Alright, I move that we approve the FY 26 budget transfers that were presented tonight.
Second.
Okay, any further discussion? All in favor, Mrs. Region?
Aye.
Aye.
Alright, okay, Knox Trail electric bus update. I know it's complicated, Bob, and I know you can do it really briefly. Sorry, it's May, it's May.
No pressure.
There's two parts to this, and the second part, actually, I have less of an update, because they still need more information. There's two things going on in the campus. We have a grant that's paying to install a new bi-directional charger that allows us to charge vehicle to grid. It's also faster to help us charge our buses faster. That's in process. We had a licensed site professional, which is somebody who's an expert on the environment and soil conditions. Working with CMLP, we need to get approval before we can do work there. They also have to test the soil. The soil is clean, so if we do move soil around, we can leave it on site. We don't have to haul it off site so far. I think there's one last test they have to do, but the plan is to start work to dig the conduit, space for the conduit next week. And then there's additional work to, install the chargers, but like these are 1 week timeframes for the elements of work. So we're hoping that by the end of May, we'll be up and running.
And is any of that money, is that from town meeting of 2017 or 19?
Two pieces to it. Some of it's from old town meeting money, that's for the
Okay.
work that CMLP's doing
Okay,
to install the transformer and the conduit up to the charger.
okay,
From the charger installation itself, and any software they put on it is being paid for by the grant.
the grant, okay. Great,
So we're not expending any money ourselves on this.
Awesome.
Well, the town money that was previously appropriated.
previously appropriated, yeah.
And the second part is Highland has approached us with something, but we still need to do some vetting of this. They have responded to some of my questions, whether I wanted options to bring the pricing down. They've shared those. I need to sit down with Dr. Hunter and we need to go through it a little bit more, and also the transportation director who's been out. I'm gonna loop him in a little bit more. So that will be something I'll bring to the next meeting.
Okay,
It's fairly complicated. There's also a nuance to it, which is I think it's a 10-year contract. We may have to do this out of the region because we have the authority to do it in the region with your vote. We have the authority to do 5 years in Concord Public Schools, but not contracts longer than 5 years without going to town meeting. So my thought initially was we'd do it out of Concord, but I think we need to do it out of the region. Maybe we balance that because the next time we get a bus, we'd get it out of the other district. We try to balance it between the two. So I'm hoping to have something to bring to you for approval at the next meeting. I do need some additional pieces of information from the vendor Highland. We'd like to find a way to make it work, but we also want to share with you what the costs are, what a diesel would cost compared to this, and we could make a decision. I think it's gonna be potentially a little bit more expensive than the diesel bus, but this community's talked about wanting to be sustainable, so it'll be, I think it's, my goal is to try to get it close enough so it's not a huge concern. And so that's what we're working on.
Okay.
That's,
So the Highland situation we will talk about at the next meeting. This is infrastructure.
Yeah.
Any questions?
There's, even with the Highland participation, I think diesel will still come out cheaper than the electric.
it looks like it, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, there's some, I think I need to talk through a little bit more because the amount of funding they're getting is also one of the questions to make an attractive deal to us, so we need to work through that with them. But diesel looks like it'll be a little bit less expensive. They sharpen their pencil, so it's closer. It's also there's fuels, they've built in electricity to their price, they built in maintenance and repairs into their price. And so I can estimate what the fuel is, electricity versus fuel. The repairs costs are harder, like you could have zero, you could just be doing preventative maintenance, or you could have a repair that you have to pay for. So we're trying to come up with what we think is, an adequate, what's the annual repair we'd have to do on this. But they'll also reimburse us if we need to do repairs ourselves. They'll reimburse us for repairs, so their price includes all that. So it's not an apples to apples comparison, which is partly why I'm struggling a little bit with
Yeah, that's why I was thinking just the go down parts of diesel bus with fuel.
With fuel being up so much, that's the other word we
Yeah.
have, so
Yeah.
this might be good timing.
And I think, well, we had an extensive conversation about this like 2 years ago, and we talked about the total cost of ownership.
Right.
And it's really, I mean, everything's a moving target right now.
Of course.
Especially with fuel being up so high. Alright, so more to come on that.
More to come,
Alright. Alright, school committee coffees. I already talked to Boston Coffee, so I'll give it to Lynette and Brian. Talk about Carlisle Coffee. Really briefly.
We had, well, I had a coffee ice cream at Frat because
Oh,
we had
that's
an
right, you had ice cream, sorry.
coffee.
Yeah.
And we did have one member of the community attend. So unfortunately not great, but great to catch up with this person. I would say topics that we talked about, the transition from Carlisle to Concord Carlisle, and really thinking about the identity and belonging. And what I would say is this person shared that she's noticed improvements just from one child over the other in terms of transitioning, but just making sure that that continues to be focus. And we were sharing a bit just in terms of how our PTO has started to get more involved and making sure we're making connections as 8th grade parents are moving up.
And the Carlisle PTO also comes to the superintendent's meeting monthly. Cause again, we feel as though we have this partnership between Concord and Carlisle, so it's important that we're all together.
I'm just taking a look, those questions just in terms of grant funding, talked a little bit about the work that the district's been doing in terms of anti-Semitism. And Lynette, am I forgetting anything?
No, I don't think so, yeah. We did spend a lot of time talking about the transition from Carlisle to CCHS, and her kids went 1 year apart, and so she did see improvement between there, but she was happy to hear that, Brian and I were paying attention to that as well and wanted to find more ways to engage, like connecting with the CPAC. And I know we've had our bands coming up, which they've loved going to the high school and seeing that, which is very cool. So just creating more of those opportunities, I think will be good.
That's great. So I guess I'll just put it out to the group, just food for thought. Did any community members that weren't parents come to any of the coffees that anyone hosted, or were they all parents?
Talking about like parents with kids actively in the school?
Yes.
We the only one was Cynthia, who does not have.
Actually, we had.
Were there any at the one?
Yeah.
There were?
Yeah.
Oh, not in Concord Public Schools, but I think there were a couple of people with kids, but they didn't go to Concord Public Schools.
And I think there's one with.
So yes.
The answer is
yes.
Yes, okay, yeah, so what we've done in the past, just to give a little historical, is we went to PTG meetings at each school site once a year, just to kind of give an update, so that's just food for thought for next year.
We should think about it next year, cause I don't think, it sounds like your coffee had.
Yours was very well
I
attended.
mean, every other coffee had one or two people.
One or two people.
This is definitely the, look at the, all the muffins.
Michael is
Maybe it's just Michael
Carrie.
going to
Oh,
it.
Carrie,
I know,
you're very
I know,
popular.
Michael and Carrie, they
They
were
were
like the dream team together.
Well, and maybe Ashley's point, like she was going to the library every Tuesday, like
Yeah.
perhaps if we set like 2 dates where we're gonna do
And that's
coffees
it,
and that's
yeah.
it, and then, there can be a group of us, like Concord and Carlisle represented, and then
Yeah.
maybe just setting certain times would increase the volume as a result.
But I do think also if we can go to
Go to
make
the
some
people.
piggyback on something that's already
Yeah.
happening. I
Yeah.
think there's definitely
Yeah.
value there.
Yes.
But also plan to start them earlier in the
Earlier,
year
yeah.
and have them over the course of the year, so
So you have a template to build on next year, right?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, so that's more to come on coffees.
Great.
Alright,
Or fraps, whatever.
Or
Or
fraps,
fraps.
ice cream.
We might have a coffee
Just
place
ice
next year.
Pizza, I don't know.
something.
Okay.
An hour outside eating ice cream or drinking ice cream was
I know,
not a
it was
bad way to
It
start.
wasn't terrible, honestly.
That was like your pre-dinner?
I think
It was
it's
our lunch.
Okay, lunch ice cream, I'll take that.
great eating night.
Alright, bias and hate instant working group, Sunday.
I'll be pithy. So we have.
No pressure, sorry.
We're at the home stretch of that
Yeah.
working
Yeah.
group, I'd say. The last couple of meetings, we've spent time on what this looks like. I spent like one of the meetings, I mocked up a dashboard of what the website looks like. And this is what the outputs would look like, what all we'd capture, what the flow chart looks like, and how an incident would be handled. Then we spoke about what the intake looks like, the questions that we captured, what are the ways that we capture all of that. So the tension, if I was to put it that way, is what all do we sign up to do, knowing that maybe there's only a limited amount of funding that the town will be allocated to it. So that's I don't think it's resolved yet. So we'll have to keep working on what we think the appropriate line is and what we recommend. The outbrief is due to the select board on June 8th.
Okay, so that's been pushed out too,
Yep.
right?
How many more meetings will there be?
There's at least 3 scheduled.
At least 3.
Between now and June 8th.
Wow.
There's, I think, one on your birthday, if you wanna come to that party.
Now that Sunday knows my birthday.
That was a good question, Cindy. Carlos Hoyt
Yeah.
did the DEI debate this year, and I got to catch up with him afterwards. He had an interesting take, or he gave an example of a school where he consulted, where they not only did sort of like incident reporting that are negative, but also positive, sort of like, he called them thriving and striving reports. Has that come up at all?
So he actually came
Yes.
to the bias and hate incident working group. He had a lot of positive, or I guess a lot of thoughts on
Yeah.
what we could and couldn't do. The Urban Development Committee appears to be, our charge is to come up with this 42, not necessarily to address everything.
I see.
So that's a recommendation.
I see.
But
And that's the committee, that's the town.
that's
The town.
In theory, we could do something different in the schools if we chose to. Okay, interesting, because it seemed like a unfortunate that we weren't surfacing the good that was happening. We were only focused on the sort of areas and challenges where we need to improve.
you're exactly right, but
Yeah.
it's kind of the theme with life in general, right?
This is true.
We raise the hands to complain. We don't do enough acknowledgement of all the good that's happening.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, it's a great idea. It's maybe something we can think about incorporating into the school system.
And again, I'd again bring up for us as a body to think about what we do when the working group finishes its tenure. I would again point out that we should still keep our eyes on this as we go forward in the next committee. So think about maintaining this and changing the focus as brought up before.
Noted.
Amen and hallelujah.
Okay. All right, our first reading of policies, they are attached to the agenda, JICK, AC, and ACR. Do you wanna give an overview of that, Lori?
I do. So, and I'll just put them up really quickly. These are coming to you at the direction of the agreement with the Department of Justice. It was one of the 3 buckets that they had, was that these policies get looked at. Paige Tobin, our district council, has made the edits in red to make sure we're aligned with the agreement. I think what's interesting, and I've talked to a couple of you since you've seen them, I think we're all seeing places we wanna do more or different. And for tonight, we have to do this, because the DOG needs to, I need to send them to them, that you've approved them with these changes. We can come back in the fall and say we wanna do something additional. We have to keep legal close because these are
Yes.
very litigious ones. But for tonight, it's about complying with the DOJ requirement. So this is the addition to the harassment. It calls out certain anti-Semitist actions that could happen. The non-discrimination policy just names anti-Semitism now. And the ACR, which is the one that sits next to the non-discrimination policy, you can read it, just says we're gonna take corrective action in regard to harassment, which would include a safety or support plan for the victim and public statements applicable with FERPA and other laws if effective. So we're doing that already, it's just naming what we're doing. So I think they're pretty straightforward. Again, and it names the same 3 Jewish offenses. We left it as a first reading because that's what we usually do, and then you could vote it in June if you're ready.
Food. Just food for thought, both on JICK and HCR. They both use the term victim. And just so it's less stigmatizing, I don't know if there's any wiggle room to have victim target.
My recommendation, the Department of Justice saw the policies as they exist now, which is what's in black.
Right.
They told us then to add what's in red. I would not recommend too much wordsmithing right now because they're looking for what they saw to just be modified to what they asked, if that makes sense.
But we certainly could take this up again in the fall.
Yes, I think once we've submitted them.
So if we approved and submits them, and then I think that maybe in the fall, the committee could take it up again.
With the condition that I don't think you can undo anything the DOJ has done, which I'm not saying, but yeah. So I hear you, Michael, I'm just not sure we can do it right, talk about it right this minute.
So there's, in some of these policies, a couple of typos, the number 3 appears twice, all of those we're gonna fix, or?
Honestly, whether I like this answer or not, I wouldn't touch anything the DOJ saw. We can clean up.
Like that numbering, the 2
After we
3s, I saw
submit
it right there, can that be a housekeeping, cause it's like number 3, then the next one is number 3, like we just change the numbering like we would on a contract for
I would
housekeeping.
hope so.
Yeah. I mean, is that something
you
you
mean
can
the one in
ask-
red here?
The one in red,
Oh, so
yeah.
that I can change, cause Paige, she just didn't, she didn't enumerate all the rest of them, so that should get changed to your point. Okay, thank you for
And
being
there
more
is
specific.
one of the other ones, there's some missing, or I guess some extra characters in there which I don't think are supposed to be in there. Send those to you. But I do have to make a statement on this. Some of this is personal. What's named in these policies lands very differently for members of my community, including some of our students in ways that are layered and complex. I recognize that this language was prepared carefully and under specific requirements, but I encourage the committee, which we've spoken about a little bit, to revisit these provisions at a later time with broader community voice at the table. I'm happy to support this imperfect language today because it's necessary, but I trust we can do more with it over time.
Thank you for that.
No, agreed.
Thank you for saying that.
I just had a question, and I was looking at these earlier today with a member of Carlisle's DCAC. We were on the phone with a different topic. She's also part of the anti-Semitism coalition that you put together.
Yes.
And her question was just because she thought in both, and I agreed with her because I was the one who said, "What are your thoughts here?" In both JICK and HCR, the fact that we're specifically calling out drawing swastikas, using Jew as a derogatory term, making Nazi salutes. We both, and again, I'm not questioning it for right now, but is there a why behind it? Was there anything?
We were told to.
It was.
the first look I had it, I'm like, what about all the other isms,
Yes.
right? That we should, if we're gonna do that, we should be doing it for a lot more groups.
Additional,
Right,
yes.
It just
Right.
feels odd, I don't disagree, this is what we were asked to
Okay.
do right now.
Yeah.
So I think we submit it, they say thank you for complying. And then I think we bring Paige to the table, cause that's a much easier, efficient way to have this conversation and
Yep.
think more about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can we,
Go ahead, Michael.
can we move that second discussion, just sort of put it as a placeholder for sometime,
Yeah.
after this is,
Yeah.
because I think it's a necessary discussion.
I would even go so far as to say, like, doing it when the school year starts is too late. I mean, I'm not advocating to work over the summer, but
The trick is I'm gonna need the DOJ to take it and accept it
no,
and.
do this for
This-
sure,
Yeah.
but the
Yeah.
additional
The
stuff,
next conversation.
Yeah,
it
I-
seems like it should be ready for.
I just wanna tell you the way the timing of the DOJ has been working,
No, I agree with you, Lori, this, we
we're never sure when they're
ratify-
gonna get back to us.
We ratify these
So-
changes, they are the right next step, and then, but I worry about any additional steps that you're bringing up, Michael, you're bringing up.
Yeah.
That to not do them till October might be a mistake.
But the optics of the DOJ ratifying something else and us changing it immediately
Immediately?
is also not great.
Yeah.
It's fair,
It's something we need to track and, you know,
I would just want it to be ready for the day one of school if we can.
right.
Yeah.
I don't
How
know.
did
So-
they do
We're
that?
doing all policies.
Yeah.
So,
You don't need it.
we don't, so we've reviewed most of our policies, but
Yes,
what I'm gonna bring at the June meeting is we have additional policies from MASC that will have a first read.
okay,
And then we're gonna go on a summer break,
yes,
kind of a break. We'll have a summer meeting at some point. So the second read will have to be then. Maybe we'll have more information by then, but I think we should track, and even what happened tonight with BDA, like that got lost. So I'm gonna put it in my year-long schedule, cause I have a policy thing at the very end of it, so that whoever the chairs are next year will have that as a starting point with policies that we're gonna commit to look at again. We've done a pretty extensive policy review, that committee did it. It was
It's
Cynthia,
less than 2
Julie,
years
and Carrie
ago,
less than 2 years ago. We hadn't looked at some policies in like 10 or 15 years prior to that. So, and Alicia doesn't recommend that we like do a whole overhaul like that. You know, we have to get in a rhythm of it, and it feels very much like summer work, which it
understood.
should be. So I think it's kind of we know it's gonna happen, we're not sure when, but I think we're all at this table very much in agreement that we wanna look at it again
Yes, okay.
by consensus,
Yes,
correct?
I totally agree.
For sure.
Alright, so that was our first reading. We will have a second reading at the June meeting because these are regional policies. So that will, and we'll vote on it at the June 3rd meeting. Tonight, we have a second reading of policies BCAB, K1, I can't read this time of night. See, I can't even see it, I literally can't see it. So you see them, thank you for the help there. I needed to phone a friend. So we saw these at our last meeting, and with that, any other discussion regarding these before we vote?
I move that we approve policies ECAB, KI, and EFBA.
I did have one note, just to.
We second
I'll
it first.
second.
Sandeep is gonna second. Okay, Drew.
I just wanted to note, I appreciated these, in my sort of like campaigning, I did note that some people had brought up to me, I think the COA, forget event, the cost of doing events after hours at schools felt prohibitive to them. That was just a concern that was raised, I don't have a position on it myself, but that was an issue that was raised to me. And I was curious, there's a note at the visitors to schools, the note about undocumented individuals at the bottom, which I wasn't sure what that part was
Okay.
referring to and whether that was part of the policy or
Yeah, you wanna pull it
not.
up, Lori?
Do you mind
So
if I-
I'll start with the facilities. So the school committee sets the facilities fees for the schools.
Yes,
and
I think
we-
Lori, the superintendent specifically, right?
No, we set them.
Oh,
The school
okay.
committee does.
Oh, it does, okay.
Yeah, so we set the fees, we had an extensive discussion about this 3 years ago, and all the K policies are really for the community. So we want our buildings open to the community, we
Yes.
want people to use it, but there are fees associated with it, and some of those are custodial fees.
Yes,
It's
there's a
maintenance
police
and all that.
officer is required for some events
For
of a
some
certain
events,
size.
yeah, and the person renting the school has to pay for that.
Right.
Like if CPAC has an event, they don't pay for that because they are part of our
They're part of
parent
us.
population, PTGs don't pay for it, but we have renters, so
Yeah,
we looked
completely
extensively at that. That is not under K and the visitors, it's under a different policy, so if you
Yeah.
look through the K policies, you'll find it.
Yeah, the visitors to schools was the undocumented individuals at the
Yeah,
bottom, the
so-
other one was access to buildings and grounds, it was mentioned briefly.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to raise that, we don't need to discuss it any further, I just heard it in the community as an issue. Sure.
Okay. So,
My take on that is MASC's trying to ensure that you don't put in restrictions that are so limiting that certain
That
people
an
can't
undocumented
access.
person
into this.
We
Okay.
do not do that, so
I wasn't
think
sure if
we're-
that note was part of the policy or not, it's, cause it seems like a,
Yeah. good
I think that's a
question.
change from MASC.
okay,
So that's their recommended change. That's
Oh,
part of
so
the recommended change. So our
they're
current
recommending that-
policy, this is the version they're recommending
Okay.
as the model policy. So if we were to go back and pull up our policy, I don't believe it has that note on it.
I feel like the note is about implementation usually when they do
Yeah,
that, like
yeah.
okay,
don't box yourself in
right,
kind of
okay,
warnings.
appreciate it, I wasn't sure.
Yeah, it's good,
Yeah.
it's a good question.
Yep, and you know how to search the policy manual online too.
Yes.
So we have that online and that's always helpful
Yes,
to look at.
okay.
Alright, so I think we're ready for a vote. Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Okay, next up, Attorney General's guidelines on minutes and amendments, and I'm gonna turn this over to Michael.
Can you right here just pull up the addition that you put into our packets, the bulleted memo that you sent out to us April 2nd.
The email that I sent?
Yeah.
Okay. That's gonna take me a minute to find that, I wasn't aware of that.
I'll be brief.
Do you wanna just,
Yeah,
do you wanna
I'm
start
getting
speaking
started, yep.
to it?
So we have roughly 2 meetings a month. Since November of 2025, we've had 5 sets of meeting minutes with concerns about accuracy and also issues getting the corrections to those minutes approved. The mailing that you were gonna put up,
Brian's gonna
all
put
these
that.
things. Going through that minute, going through that, going through that, I still had questions, and so I reached out to the Attorney General's office, Division for Open Government, with 2 questions. One, how does one avoid recurring errors in faithfully transcribing minutes? And 2, how are edits to draft minutes managed and the process of getting them reviewed and approved? I spoke with Ms. Natalie Reyes out of the Division for Open Government. In answer to question 1, Ms. Reyes is the minutes taker for her office's reporting system. She described her process, reviewing minutes, reviewing the video of the meeting, transcribing the draft, proofreading the draft for content and typographical errors, then submitting the draft to the body for review and approval. Now, this is something that I didn't know at the time. She noted that faithful transcription is key. Approving minutes that are not reflective of the discussion that takes place. If a citizen can see in a video something that's not faithfully reported in the minutes, that in and of itself is a violation of open meeting law. For question 2, she noted that the original transcription of minutes is considered the draft minutes. Any edit beyond typographical errors is considered an opinion, so it can't be distributed. Doing that would be a violation of open meeting law. So we come to draft minutes should always be edited in open meeting with our membership aware of both context and the questions at hand. So given what I've learned, I'd agree with the process that you laid out. I just put a slight modification on the front end. And I propose that we agree that the transcription of draft minutes should include a careful review of video documentation, proofreading for content and typographical errors, with subsequent description and subsequent distribution for approval. When errors that are substantive occur, prompt timely submission to the leadership to allow distribution, display in the meeting, so that in a prompt timeframe, we can have deliberation, correction, and final approval. That's all I have.
Okay, so we're gonna continue the process like we did tonight. So that's our
Yeah, like
process.
we did
So
tonight.
an edit that's more than just a typo, we're gonna do the same process that we have tonight. If there's a typo, like Sandeep found a couple of typos that he sent to me, that we can correct.
So we agree that typos are different from
Yep.
substantive corrections. But I think probably the more important takeaway is that it's important that some of the errors we've seen, we have bias-nated incident reporting work group, but not a biohazard safety group. And
We're not sending you stuff with that kind of error anymore.
Well,
We're
yes.
working on it
Yeah.
hard, so
It's-
we're
That-
committing to get that better.
Yeah, and I think just so, everyone hears what happens in the process, so Barbara is sitting at home.
Barbara's
and
online,
she's
listening to
online.
you talk about this.
Yes, she's listening to talk about this, and she does a fantastic job on minutes, and I have to say, thank you so much for what you do, cause they're very extensive. I mean, I think Drew and I had a conversation about like how extensive they are, and a lot of minutes aren't this inclusive. So I appreciate the level of depth that Barbara puts into it. So after that, Erin also looks at the minutes, Andrew and I also look at the minutes, Lori looks at the minutes. And so, we're really doing our best to make sure they look their best when they get to the committee. But sometimes when you read the minutes over and over again, things slip through, obviously, so, but that is our process, the chairs always see the minutes first. And then we make minutes, so. Alright, so we're agreed on the process, we're good? Okay, perfect, alright, thank you for that.
Yeah, thanks, Michael.
Yep, and I appreciate the follow-up, and then, we have the email, so now we're all working together on this, which is great. All right, last up is the school committee schedule, which Erin has drafted, and Laura, Brian and I had a little conversation about that first meeting. So I guess what I think I would like to do is maybe just poll the school committee to see when they're available in August.
This is totally a
because-
working draft.
Working draft.
Oh, I added these to my calendar, was that premature?
It's totally fine. Erin will send calendar invites too, so.
Oh, really?
She
Yeah,
does,
right.
so you'll get that for the whole year.
We're laughing together.
Yeah, so I think my only question is that August 19th meeting, so if people can look at their schedules, maybe I'll just send a few August dates.
I appreciate
Or we could use it as a draft and see who's available and if we have a quorum, or wait for the chairs, the next set of chairs. to
Yeah,
look
the
at that
trick,
August
and I
meeting.
nudged a little on this, normally we do this after the committee's all seated and we know who's coming from Carlisle, but we've been getting up against dates in the fall on our end. So if nothing else, if you could give us August, September, October with what you think you're gonna do would be really helpful.
So I think as long as, Brian, I don't know if you've looked at for the Carlisle meetings yet, has Carlisle
We
set their
haven't
meetings?
gotten that far yet.
Okay, we're in first, no, I'm just kidding.
We will use this to inform the
Okay.
meeting, so,
Okay,
yeah.
I mean, I'm comfortable with the school year meetings, I didn't see any issues, did anyone see any issues with the school
I'll
year
just
meetings?
name a few things we proofed, so you
Yeah.
don't undo them.
Yep.
We looked at all the Jewish holidays, fall and spring. We knew we have an issue, the first early January, we had a concert that couldn't get moved and it was a conflict, so we've avoided that in January.
Lunar New Year, did we avoid that?
I don't know,
Okay.
we can't look for all
All of them,
holidays or
okay.
you're gonna struggle
Yep,
to meet.
okay.
We went to one meeting in June, that's up for discussion. That's what I think we're landing on this year and the past year too, probably. So
And they're always Wednesday?
Always
they have the
Okay.
Wednesday cadence, I'm just gonna say thank you to this committee's willingness to try Wednesdays. Game changing for our cycles. It feels really different to focus on Wednesday night instead of Tuesday.
Yeah, and after the weekend and when
Posting
you
and all that.
post the agendas, even after a vacation, like think about coming back from,
Yeah.
I mean, I was still flying on Tuesday. So I think the Wednesday works for the professionals too, and
It's
now
really
it
working for
feels-
us if it's working
And
for you.
Carlisle's on Wednesday.
We are
Yes.
on Wednesday, and
So
so we
it-
like it because we don't end up with double headers.
Double
Correct.
headers,
Yes.
right.
I see.
Right. So I'm really comfortable with the draft. I think the August one is maybe the question, so.
I would, yeah, that would be the only one, unless there's urgent work that has to happen that soon. I would just suggest maybe considering the 26th.
Do you want us to vote on this at the next meeting? So you just have it?
Yes, please.
Okay.
We're already working around what's on here, hoping it
Okay, so
gets
I'm gonna
settled
send an
fairly
email,
soon.
like a doodle email, which for scheduling, I'm gonna send it to all of you and check your availability for August. Okay?
And the final draft will have all the holidays on the second page, like, or a link to them?
We don't usually do it on this calendar, we do it on
Oh,
the
right,
school.
so
We
this
already
is-
have
okay,
that,
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
this is just school.
But we
committee.
we're trying to get better at mapping this against that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we don't get
What the process is if, for whatever emergency reason, we need a meeting this summer.
So,
Wait, hopefully we don't.
hopefully we don't. If there's maybe negotiations we have to talk about, if we need an executive session, whoever the chair is would send out a doodle to the committee to see when they're available. You know, if there's something like that, Zoom would be a really good option over the summer when people are traveling. I know Lynette Zoomed in for her first meeting from Ireland, right? From Ireland.
Yes.
So I think that, you know, it's still at 48 hours notice, all of that. I don't envision that we have summer work this summer to do in July, but that would be up to the next chair to
Typically,
decide
July
that.
is if approvals come up that we have timeliness to, otherwise we work to not bring you back till
Till August. Yeah, July is usually off.
I'm sorry, when are all the liaison assignments?
So
Will that be
the new
June?
chairs will actually I preemptively asked this committee. If you could look at all the committees we liaise with and think about things that you're interested in, but the chairs appoint the liaisons. And whoever the chairs are, it will depend on, they may just appoint you to something, or they might ask for feedback. So
That
just
list
look
in
at the
the-
list.
in the drive.
The list is in the drive, I'll send it to you though.
Thanks.
Yep,
Yeah,
yep.
if you wanna send it to all of us, just.
I'll
so
send
it's
it to
top of mind.
everyone, just to see what we have. I think Lynette might wanna volunteer for CPAC, but
I do.
I know.
She's getting voluntold.
I know, volunteer. Seems like a perfect connection. All right, so we'll vote on that at our next meeting. And with that, this brings us to executive session. I'm gonna
You
turn
want
to
me to
Brian
read
on that.
this?
Yes, sure do.
I move that the Concord School Committee and Concord Carlisle Regional School Committee will enter into executive session under purpose 2 of open meeting law to discuss strategy sessions in preparation for negotiations with non-union personnel. And purpose 3 to discuss strategy with respect to collective bargaining with the K-12 administrative assistants and maintenance. And under purpose 7 to comply with or act under authority of any general or special law or federal granted aid requirements, specifically NGL Chapter 38, Section 22A and F, with regard to the review and approval of executive session minutes from February 4th, 2026, March 2nd, 2026, March 18th, 2026, April 1st, 2026, and under purpose 3, under which the February 4th, 2026, March 2nd, 2026, March 18th, 2026, and April 1st, 2026 executive sessions were held, and under purpose 7, under which the February 4th, 2026 executive session was held. The Concord Carlisle Regional School Committee will then adjourn, and the Concord School Committee will remain in executive session under purpose 3 to discuss strategy with respect to collective bargaining with the CTA ESP and not return to open session.
Second.
That was a great filibuster.
Okay, thank you, Brian.
Take a breath.
And when we go into an exec session, it requires roll call of the committee, so this is gonna be really tricky. Drew's an M. So you will go after Andrew and before me, so I'll ask for roll call.
Okay.
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 Okay, so think about your alphabetical order, so roll call. Let's try it.
Hercheck, aye?
Yes.
Keller, aye.
Molly, yeah, feels like it's gonna be.
Morano, aye.
Watterson, aye.
Okay,
work,
did it.
everyone.
Thank you.
Can we take 5 minutes to get?
We're gonna take 5 minutes before we go into exec session.